it's your old friends at Monday Madness, and welcome to another episode of GrapsWatch, our technically bi-weekly rundown of anything happening in the pro wrestling world. And well, we've got a couple of things to discuss on this one, rather heavier than our usual content. We're talking about the relationship of American politics and professional wrestling, because that's something nice and light for a podcast. We're going to go into depth about how obviously WWE are intrinsically linked with the Donald Trump regime, both inside the White House and inside the Wrestling Hall of Fame. All the little in-between bits as well. We also have a double round of creative control for our Mirror Universe, which is the video that you'll be watching along if you are indeed joining us on YouTube itself. And then after that, we're going to be previewing the Elimination Chamber, now that kind of half the WrestleMania card is in place and the other half is hopefully going to get settled this weekend in Chicago. We'll be discussing who we think are going to best place to win the chamber and who we would like to see instead as alternatives. And to wrap up the show, we're going to wrap up our top graps list to see if anyone has broken into the top 10 and who is getting kicked out, and of course shuffling the deck from there. So it's a busy GrapsWatch episode, and hopefully you enjoy it. I'm joined this week by Dave, Jerry Soul and Jamie, so hopefully you enjoy the show. Keep sport out of politics is the commonly heard refrain from one side of the political spectrum, particularly in the United States, where people are politically, culturally and socially more divided than ever. Naturally, a lot of this division has come from forces far bigger and far duller than those in the sphere of professional wrestling, but there's a remarkable amount of crossover, as WWE have familial connections in Donald Trump's cabinet. Least we forget, of course, Trump being inducted into WWE's Hall of Fame, courtesy of his efforts to host WrestleMania on several occasions, and of course the hair versus hair match in WrestleMania 23. As Trump's second regime continues to spiral into a techno-fascist nightmare, as cities are targeted for political persecution and secret polices kidnap people of a different skin colour and execute innocent people on the street, WWE's proximity to this regime is becoming harder to ignore. Couple that with the now growing phenomenon of fuck ICE chants swirling around AEW, primarily around Brody King due to his outspoken political stances, but on the side not commonly associated with professional wrestling. Several ex-WWE employees, such as Simone Johnson, being vocal about her contempt for ICE and Trump, Kayla Braxton going on record to say that she would get in trouble if she were to discuss politics when employed by WWE, and most high profile of all, Mick Foley publicly distancing himself from WWE because of their proximity to Trump. Pro wrestling, like all sports and forms of entertainment, is intended as escapism from the grim reality of the world around us, but how much does WWE and indeed TKO's proximity and their dalliances with the right-wing sphere impact their core audience, whoever that may be? How far would it have to go until wrestling fans generally are alienated and wrestling, like other sports like the NFL and UFC, become yet another example of bread and circuses? This is obviously a very heavy topic for a wrestling podcast, but we are four adult men capable of forming coherent sentences, so I think we're really well capable of talking about it. Jerry, I'll start with you on this one. This is obviously something that, like, it's hard to ignore, obviously, with the kind of the news sphere that we have, and we all have kind of different absorption rates of wrestling, if that's a fair thing to say. Would you consider yourself in that kind of like alienated in terms of like WWE's connection to what's happening in American politics, or is there more kind of base level issues with WWE content for you?
When you see, I am a WWE fan. That's the way it is, and I don't watch AEW. So, hearing about the stuff that's been happening with the ICE chants and stuff like that, I'm literally getting on the grapevine. I'm not watching it. I don't watch AEW, but you can't ignore the fact that they are absolutely in Trump's pocket, and it's not just one or two people. It's like half the organization is. You've got like Triple H is part of a council with Trump. You've got Linda McMahon is one of his government ministers.
Secretary of Education.
There you go. And what's fucking education? They don't get one in America. What are you talking about? And as well, it's like they're trying to dismantle the thing anyway. So that's education be damned. We are literally living in the end times when it comes for America. Honest to God. But when it comes to it, like, you see, the way I look at it is this: you can't punish everybody. So, people are not going to tune out just because a lot of people there are Trump supporters. because a lot of people there are not Trump supporters. So it's like you're still gonna watch, you're still gonna be able to do it. It's like, and I don't be naming names here, but it's like let's say somebody who has been outed or has been named in Me Too movement or any other type of thing, or people have been accused of whatever, and they're in a film. So people is, oh no, I can't watch that film ever again. Now, why? They're not the only person in that film. They're not the only person part of the production. Are you going to absolutely destroy everyone else's career just because of that one person? Is like the film could be out years, and that's the thing. You can't punish everybody for what one person does. So when you look, but this is the thing about WWE. It is getting harder to ignore. Is the fact that when it comes to this situation, they don't shy away from it. They don't hide it either. Like that, like obviously Dana White is part of obviously UFC, but they're all part of TKO. Dana White's a huge Trump supporter. Triple H is very clearly a huge Trump supporter, as is Linda McMahon and probably all the McMahons. You know, the other one that we don't talk about anymore, that likes to crash cars nowadays in his 758 year of life. But when it comes to this situation, it can't be ignored just how many people. And then how many, then you're looking at the other half going, well, I bet you he is, or I bet you she is, or maybe she is, no, maybe he isn't. It's really hard to know. A lot of people keep things close to their chest, and I think a lot of people would prefer if they did keep things close to your chest, because then you wouldn't judge them. You'd be like, as soon as you find out where somebody go, oh fuck that, I have to hate that person now, or I have to dislike that, and it very much is. It's like, even like, look at Kid Rock. Okay, his career has basically been declining for many years, but there's still people that like him. But now I'm like, oh fuck it.
Yeah, it doesn't help when he kind of makes a bit of a laughing stock of himself and is almost like on the a lot of, and again, a lot of people in especially in Trump sphere are on that kind of like level of self parody. Unless you're in the cabal,
like the Whites. What was it? The Whites only halftime show that he done.
Yeah, exactly, and ended up
like
being Bob Ferns.
The thing that had what 50 or 60 people.
Yeah,
that's
exactly, yeah.
It was pre-recorded, and they did multiple takes of each performance so they could get the best angle possible to make you see that there was no crowd there.
And then they ran with the rhetoric that there was more viewers of that than there was of the actual Super Bowl halftime show.
Which that was also debunked quite quickly, as I think it was like 5 million bots on the stream and all that. It was incredible stuff. Dave, you are yourself an AEW fan, and you obviously watch the content on a regular basis. So you are probably best like kind of suited of all of us to kind of give us the context around Brody King, and well, I suppose it always coming to AEW Continental Clash and the championship match with himself and MJF. MJF himself, who's actually quite outspoken in his own right. Again, perhaps the politics you wouldn't be expecting of a proper wrestler in a sense, but at least he seems to have a kind of his own way around him in terms of how he presents himself. Give us the context here. How much is this kind of like, has this actually helped Brody King's profile, or is this essentially just AW having an outlet for people's frustrations?
It's that old argument of free speech, isn't it? In a country where they proclaim free speech and then turns out to be absolute bullshit, that nobody has any free speech. I think it's helped this character in ways because you have to stick to your principles. If that's what you think, if that's what you support, then you should be allowed to support what you do. Whether it's Trump, whether it's, you know, the other side of it, whether it's Democrat or whatever it is, Governor of California, Florida, all of those. So it's difficult because the free speech argument will always come up. People chanting "fuck ICE" in the crowd, it's free speech. Yes, it's a political statement, but that you're allowed to do that. Taking them off TV was a massive, stupid, idiotic mistake because you're 1 week out from Grand Slam Australia. You're 1 week out from the title match. You decide to pull them off television when you're trying to advance that storyline. Stupid decision. But also, don't pull them off to stop chants. You're basically saying to people in the crowd, no, you're not allowed to do that. Where in a country where free speech is obviously was proclaimed and now it's just bullshit, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and like I said, I think the more you see of it, the more you hear of it, the more it kind of shows to be a little bit of a lie. And Jamie, on that respect, obviously, and again, I suppose your kind of perspective, you have a kind of a nice, like, kind of like, shall we say, array of wrestling absorption over the years. Like, content is obviously very different in terms of the kind of the background of it. It's always the kind of the sausage principle, isn't it? Like you want to see the finished product, you don't want to necessarily know how it's made. as a wrestling fan, do you think there is some sort of level of kind of like how we say like moral consumption of a product? Is it more difficult now to be able to watch WWE content knowing what's kind of behind the curtain, or do you think there's still that kind of veneer of almost like in a weirdly a kind of a kayfabe to it all as well?
See, I don't know if it's any harder to consume morally, considering what came before the current regime was Vince McMahon.
Hmm.
And I don't think anyone had too many illusions about him being a good person at any point, regardless of what came out in later years.
Hmm.
Well,
There
you
was
go
no
all the way
point
back
when
to
it
the
was like,
80s, Jamie.
I
Like,
thought he was a stand-up guy. Like, he was, management has never been exactly good. But I suppose to be a wrestling fan, you have to kind of suspend your disbelief to begin with. So it's just kind
exactly.
of an extension to that to continue enjoying the product. I think it is genuinely uncomfortable with how many people in senior positions within that company and how close they are to that genuinely autocratic regime.
Yes.
But at the same time, I would argue that it's never been easier to not financially support WWE.
Hmm. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
because like 9 times out of 10, people already had a Netflix subscription anyway, and that's
I
just got it
would,
thrown into the mix. So
regardless.
it's like
Hmm.
you're gonna have it without having to pay any more. But I would also, Jamie, your point makes a lot of sense when you said, "Oh, given what the previous regime was like, if you take even if you take politics out of it, yeah, all you have to do is go back to the Ring Boy scandal in the late 80s, early 90s, the fact that Pat Patterson got kept on, and all of these things that we glossed. So we still watch the
He
product.
didn't. Pat
Millions of
Patterson
people still
got
watch the
fired. He got
product.
brought back.
But
Pat
people still watch the
Patterson
product,
got fired. He got brought back.
well, there you go. It's even
And
worse. But
it's
like,
generally considered that he was actually innocent, but that was homophobic slander because he was gay, therefore he must be interfering with the young men. Apparently, he actually had a long-term partner at the time, and the main issue with the Ring Boys was Terry Garvin. But
mm, but even all of that,
sorry,
happening, and all the stuff that's happened over the years, since the 80s and beyond, and we still watched the product. From a political point of view, we should try and distance the politics from the wrestling at all points, because I know it's difficult to do now, but
but it
if
was
you focus
difficult to
on that,
do
it does
then.
kill it, huh?
Like, I mean, wrestling has always followed politics, always.
No, I know, but
In
at
the
the
80s,
same,
right, from the national expansion, and arguably
Mhm.
before it in a more territorial way, but since the national expansion of WWF, you had Hulk Hogan fighting foreigners. That was
yeah,
the
yeah,
80s.
Hmm.
It was the zeitgeist. In
Yeah,
the
that's the
90s,
word, isn't it? It's the fact that like
zeitgeist, yeah,
wrestling above all, like a lot of sports that kind of have that kind of reflection of culture. Well, a reflection of society anyway. That's always the kind of
yeah,
the especially for like those kind of like very ubiquitous sports like say like football or soccer. If
yeah,
you're listening to this from the United States, if so, sorry. But in that respect, like with wrestling, as I said, like it has to, it wrestling is the line between reality and fiction, isn't it?
yeah,
That's the whole art of it. So in that respect, like it is like when the reality is so grim, it's kind of hard to really enjoy
yeah,
the fiction because in a way,
like,
like there's only really one character that's making a grand overture to Donald Trump, and that's probably Becky Lynch. And what's
yeah,
incredible about it is that Becky Lynch clearly fucking hates Donald Trump, which is why
yep.
she's doing a caricature of it. And what's even more exciting, or not exciting, it's wrong. It's what's even more hilarious is that the majority of the American audience apparently is only registering now that she's doing a Donald Trump impression. She's been doing this for months, lads. Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
incredible. Like but again, is that like that's obviously a very obvious, blatant parody in a realm where like self parody is almost like part of the deal. So I
yeah,
suppose it's supposed to the room yourselves in the sense that like, is that the kind of little bit of quiet rebellion that WWE staff can get away with, or like is Caleb Braxton right? Let's say in saying that like they actually don't have really a facility to speak up. They basically have to kind of like politely like nod and wave uh to the audience here
depends on
and
how
do what you
big
want
you
to
are.
do.
It
Yeah.
depends on how big your character is. Depends on how much money you're pulling into the company. If you're on the lower level, you can't say shit. If you're on the top level bringing in millions of dollars, they're not going to tell you don't say this, because they'll just go, okay, I'll leave, or okay, I'll not do this or not do that, and they'll push back at
Mm.
it. So
Mm.
in my opinion, it all depends on who you are in the company and what level you're at in the company. I think there's different tiers to this. It's not just a
I
straightforward, you can't say anything.
I don't think anyone is going to get away with saying outright anything. And I think they're all too clever in their spots to risk doing that.
Yeah.
They know the separation of reality and the WWE universe reality, and that you can only bring so much of it in. And on the point previously, considering that with Brody King and the chance with the fuck ice, not to be a total cynic about it, but that was an organic thing. He came out months ago wearing the fuck ice shirts, and that image was everywhere. And then it became known as it was Brody's thing. And then the crowd that night chanted fuck ice. He was clearly into it. It was a moment, that moment went viral. And then they took it away from him. They took the spotlight away from Brody King. They seemed to try to use the publicity from that moment to promote themselves, but he had to go away now because he did the bad thing. And then the whole thing just cynically rolled on. I refuse to believe there's any good billionaires.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
I mean, again, the moral of this podcast is going to be to eat the rich, but there's the ways that you can do it in small chunks, so you can do it in big chunks. It depends on the point of view. Jerry, would you go along with the sentiments there in terms of like again, you're not as an AEW fan, but like I suppose the kind of the interest and the hysteria in equal measure of Brody King becoming mainstream news in a sense. Like he was like, it was actually almost like a news story. The fact that, oh my God, a professional wrestler said fuck ice. It's like, how is this a shock? Like there are normal people wrestle too, you know?
Brody King wouldn't be noteworthy in the really in the world of professional wrestling. He works for AEW, but he's not like a John Cena or a Stone Cold or Hulk Hogan. You know, he's a minor cog in the wheel, but this has propelled him into the fact that, well, it's propelled him to no, I'm not going to say stardom, but to be famous, because now
Public
people are talking about it. Exactly. People are talking about him, and then he was taken off air. I'm like, oh, you know, you think someone like, you would think somebody like Tony Khan, who, you know, called WWE the Epstein of the not Epstein, the Weinstein, wasn't it? Was it called him the Weinstein? Called him the Weinstein of the wrestling universe. Yeah. You think with him, with all his morals and all his outrage, would be happy to have Brody King on air and promoting fuck ice as much as possible. But no, he's gone. And of course, all that ever happened is, oh, it wasn't me. It was Warner Brothers. I didn't take him off. No. Of course, fuck off. Absolutely, ask my arse. And it's exactly like that. Basically, he is there. He likes to proclaim that, you know, he's a wrestling fan and he's there for the people. He doesn't give a shit. He's there to make money, and it's not even so much to make money for himself. He's there to make money for his daddy, and that's all it is. Because his daddy is bankrolling everything, so it's all about money.
I disagree.
Oh, interesting.
I strongly doubt that company has ever made a cent.
I was about to say, like,
no, they haven't.
Yeah.
From the rumored contract to what they've been doing, they've been losing money hand over fist. This isn't about money. This is about him living out his fantasy book.
It's a vanity project. Yeah, like you said, Jamie, it's a personal fantasy. It's a dream of his. I love wrestling, so I'm going to buy a wrestling company, and I'm going to try to compete with WWE. And it's like...
No. It's not I love wrestling, so I'm going to buy a wrestling company. It's I love wrestling, so I'm going to have my daddy buy me a wrestling company.
Yeah, and I'm going to use Cody Rhodes and the Elite to build that for me. I'm not even going to build it myself. I'm going to take something that other people have created, and I'm going to just slap my name on it and be like, I'm the King Booker.
Well, didn't Vince McMahon kind of do that himself?
Well, Vince McMahon's kind of biggest kind of play was essentially buying people's, again, like making money. Like essentially, a lot of like places were so territorial, and I suppose like they had put their colors to mass that were never going to hold. Except like again, Vince McMahon's greatest like kind of like acquisition or steal, if you like, is just recognizing that Hulk Hogan was going to be huge, whereas other territories looked at Hulk Hogan and said, actually, no, my son's going to be a bigger draw. It's like, I'm sorry,
Vince brought in the entertainment and the rest. Vince's big thing was the celebrities at the beginning to endorse his product.
But all of that was based on the fact that Vince's whole thing was the scale.
Yes.
that everyone else had their towns that they ran, Vince was the first one to realize this can be everywhere. This can
Mm.
be its own thing nationally.
Yeah.
And the characters, instead of being the territory star,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can be larger than life
National,
cartoon characters.
global.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where like figures like kind of Trump kind of go into it then, because as I said, like in order to do something as big as that, you need private capital. You need to be kind of you're now rubbing shoulders with these kind of like with these kind of like, I wouldn't say financiers is probably the wrong word to use, but certainly like kind of like that kind of rule people treat that would consider themselves kind of ruling class in that respect. And obviously, like I said, AEW is no different because, like I said, they're owned by the guy who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, so they're not exactly like
And Fulham.
yeah, and Fulham, of course, yes. The most middle class of football clubs, in case you're not aware. So again, they don't,
Yeah,
they are not the La Resistance by any respect. But again, in this kind of like weird schism of professional wrestling, like
schism.
it is a schism in a sense because I'm looking because I was reading some of the articles around Brody King and the kind of the shock and surprise about like a professional wrestler like being so outspoken, because I think there's a perception in the kind of in especially in the American sphere that like pro wrestling is a very Republican sport, and inherently it is. Like it's very
Oh yeah.
individualized, and it's all about like fending for yourself and all that good stuff.
And I mean, to be fair, credit where it's due. Brody King, with that look and those tattoos and the size of him, he feels like he should be a white supremacist.
Well, that's what MJF
He
said
feels
in
like
the
he should
promo.
be an ice agent. He looks like an ice
Yeah.
agent saying, "Fuck
Yeah.
ice."
He
Yeah.
looks like someone who signed up, but instead,
Yeah. That's what MJF said
Yeah.
in the promo, and he proper got a proper pop out of Brody. In fairness, it definitely wasn't run by him at the start. You can tell that in the promo, but at the very least, like there is such a kind of a fascinating like the surprise about it is so fascinating to me because like yeah, in professional wrestling is whatever you want it to be in yourself, isn't it? It's like it's whatever reflection of like what you want,
Yeah.
and while it's not like it's not something like say like UFC or boxing, which is very hyper masculine. It is hyper masculine, but it's also on the more kind of performative side in a sense. You are basically putting on tights and you're putting on a show. It's like it's more musical theater than it is a competitive like an actual blood sport in a sense. But again, the joy is it can be more blood sport than musical theater when you want it to be. But the perception that a lot of the wrestling fans will be like kind of like boo this man for like having for going on the other side is quite surprising to me, because my perception of the wrestling sphere, and again, this is where I'm talking about like what is even the core audience for WWE anymore? Are they gonna be alienated by like people either anti or pro Trump? Because it's actually quite hard to tell anymore. Because again, you go to an international audience and they'll boo the American national anthem, and rightfully so, because they're not very popular people anymore. Whenever they do a show in Canada, you're gonna get a similar reaction. They're gonna go on an international tour now, and you can bet your ass they're not gonna be showing like any kind of like Trump propaganda there. So it's always fascinating to see the kind of the dynamic where people almost conflate the UFC manosphere audience with WWE's much broader kind of platform in that sense. Like in a weird way, like professional wrestling kind of like draws every outcast in and doesn't let them escape. Whereas UFC seems to be very targeted to one particular insecure male. That's the way I kind of read it as well. And again, what's fascinating for me is that they're all under the same company. So again, logic would tell you they must share an audience. No,
I'm
I don't think
surprised
there's
there's
any
not been a
difference.
crossover. I'm genuinely surprised they've not put Lesnar and a UFC fighter in an exhibition match. I'm genuinely surprised they haven't crossed that barrier yet. Even since the TKO merger, I've been like, where surely they should have a crossover.
They probably count
Like,
Lesnar as the crossover. That's the thing as well, though. It's like technically he is the crossover athlete for that brand, and that's like, let's be realistic. It's probably the reason why he's still around. Really, is that you're gonna have a lot of people on the TKO side saying, "Hang on, he's one of us and he's one of yous." Like this is a no brainer. Keep him on
Brawl for
board.
all two. Let's make it happen, lads. Brawl
Yeah,
for all two. Let's do it.
you know, but But in that sense, like obviously, like there's like so going back to what we were in terms of the initial kind of like the relationship that like wrestling has with Trump is a fascinating one. There's a good book. There's a book out at the moment. I can't remember the author's name, but it's a very interesting read where basically a lot of like Donald Trump's politics is based on professional wrestling, and it's a fascinating insight because
yep.
Donald Trump is a wrestling fan. And he has been a wrestling fan since
really
he's a
is.
child. Like he went to go see Bruno Sammartino in Madison Square Garden with his dad, and apparently it's the only place where he really related to his father. And again, look at the comparison with Vince McMahon and his dad. Like, there's a lot of parallels there. And what's interesting is that like that kind of the pro wrestling logic of the heel and the face, the boo yay of the whole situation, is kind of what American politics is at the moment. Like it's so polarizing, so divided. You could be in one camp and think the other is the villain, and vice versa. And the middle ground is gone, all that sort of stuff. But again, if you look at wrestling, especially old typey wrestling, everyone's either a babyface or a heel. There is no middle ground. You know, tweener didn't happen until arguably Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's
So-
why I find Trump's speeches so funny, because I don't think people in the audience or his followers realize he's just cutting a promo. He's not actually going to do anything he says.
It's all he's ever been doing.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, like
Like,
politics used to be boring. People used to talk about policy and what they were going to do politically and bills they were going to get passed. And
Yep.
then Donald Trump showed up and it became a mudslinging contest because that's all he's done is cut promos and try to babyface himself. And he found an audience for it. And that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
Like the terrible nicknames, the fucking sleepy Joe Biden and calling them low energy. Like it's
Again,
first words of promos.
again, just if you're using low IQ as an insult, yeah, chances are you're the one with the low IQ. Let's be fair. Like
I don't
it's
think anyone's ever
you know,
had any illusions about him.
no, very much so. But again, it is that kind of that fascinating quality of it, where like a lot of his psychology is based off that as well. It's the fact that like you can paint yourself to be the good guy even though you are the villain. Like you are, you can be that kind of like that persona. And
Can I just point out though as well that like Trump and pro wrestling makes sense that they'd be similar because he's a fucking con man and wrestling is carny as shit. So why wouldn't they
Yeah,
be?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like he's from the same mind frame of working people.
yeah, I mean, it has to be said, like in some aspects, pro wrestling has never really escaped its circus origins, and again, everything is a circus if you look close enough, in a sense. And like I said, this isn't the first time the WWE has been enveloped in kind of scandals or drama or just general kind of like questions about how it works, and this will be no different. But
Yeah.
I suppose as well, like it's like I think the anomaly for me in this whole equation is Triple H himself, because he's put himself front and center in this whole thing. And again, for what you kind of said about like kind of Nick Khan and AEW, I think Triple H is just as much of an ego trip in the current kind of flavor of WWE.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
he puts himself front and center on everything. Like he is
The
like,
game.
he's making himself the lodestone of the whole of the whole operation.
Yeah.
And again, I think a lot of that is down to aesthetics and presentation and making kind of a point of like Vince McMahon is dead, I'm here now type of thing. And but that's what. Well, I mean, we were only watching WrestleMania 14 back. And like, yeah,
Just wait till Saturday night when that box opens.
Yeah.
Vince
I'm
steps
telling
out.
you, it's full of Slim Jims.
No, it's gonna be Vince McMahon in a hood going, "It's me! It was me all along."
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if not only that happened, but it was actually him all along.
yeah.
There's a good theory that it's a box within a box, and they have to open one each week till Mania, and it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Then it's the unredacted Epstein files.
Stuff that would be quite the storyline. Is that what the Undertaker Shane McMahon feud was about the whole time? Was that the lockbox? Was it like that was the stash of evidence? Like
Yeah,
that'd be-
it's gonna be Danhausen. It's gonna be full of Slim Jims. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that.
Danhausen with the unredacted Epstein files is not what I had on my bingo card for 2026. But there you
Nope.
go. What a man!
He loves a swerve.
Very nice, very evil.
Yes.
Maybe that's why Jamie's wearing the eye patch. It's him coming out of the box.
Yeah.
Maybe we can't
Probably not.
confirm or deny the allegations on that one, but yeah. So I suppose like to continue on with this this discussion. So obviously like Trump's, like you mentioned Jamie about like his kind of like pendant for like good promos, very evident in the first term. Like again, this is like there's two different Donald Trumps that we're talking about here. There's the one that like you could arguably say was played for laughs a little bit in the first one, where he's a bit of a laughing stock, a bit of a kind of a bumbling idiot, but also still very nasty and insidious in like behind the scenes as well. Trump 2 is like Trump's revenge tour, if you like, is a lot more insidious. And again, it's because like he is so willing to be in power, he is literally like enlisted the worst possible people in amongst them. Like he's got white supremacists, he's got pedophiles, he's got alleged rapists, he's got domestic abusers, he's got alcohol. Like look, Pete Heskett, I don't know even what the fuck he is at this point. Like patsies, really, for all intents and purposes. And again, stooges
Cash
and imps and
Patel.
everything in between. Yeah, exactly. And then you have people who like just are platformed to be the lightning rod of hatred, and they'll be the first to fall. You know, these type of people. So like when you has a lot of these kind of people surrounded, and as I say, when you see like things are just gone so substantially worse in America, you know, obviously there's an international flavor to WrestleMania. People go over to watch the show for the sake of a show. And of course, this is also a year where there's going to be a World Cup in America, and it looks like it's going to be very, very troubling for various reasons. Like, is there a genuine kind of like I wouldn't say there's a genuine concern for like wrestling fans going over to watch it and then being like pounced by ice or anything like this, but like, is it genuinely like a comfortable place to even go and watch wrestling anymore?
No,
Is it, you know,
Absolutely
Not a
not.
chance.
Yeah.
no,
Not a
no
chance.
way.
yeah,
I would genuinely sooner wait a year and go to Saudi Arabia.
yeah,
It's much
Like,
cheaper and affordable to go.
Genuinely.
Ooh.
The Royal Rumble, I priced going to the Royal Rumble 3 weeks before the event. And for less than 2 tickets to Raw in Belfast, I could fly to Riyadh. I could get 3 nights in a 5-star hotel and get my ticket to the Royal Rumble. And all for less than 2 tickets in Belfast for Raw.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
insane.
yeah.
£897 for a flight from Edinburgh to Riyadh, 5-star hotel for 3 nights with a spa, and my ticket to the Royal Rumble. Mid-tier, not even like
Dave, don't be calling yourself a spa. It's okay. It's
No,
okay. Don't call
it's
yourself a
not.
spa.
But I am though.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Self-professed.
yeah, that's true.
I do like the spas. It was actually what kind of turned it in his favor, going like, you know, the 3 nights scrub, but having a spa there now is good as well. Like having a good little exfoliation there now is good. Yeah, yeah.
But there's
But,
also then you have the political problem of, sorry Jerry, the political problem of oh, we have to go to Saudi Arabia. That's a whole other kettle of fish. Oh, we can't go there because of the human rights violations and this and that and the other. If it wasn't for AEW doing all in fucking London, I'd never get to a wrestling show. Can't go anywhere.
That's true.
Again, it's
But,
much to
like,
that point. I think the US is starting to catch up on these countries when it comes to human
Yeah.
rights violations. They're like,
it,
I was
re-
gonna
it,
say-
it really is. Yeah, it really
Yeah.
One
is.
journalist fucking 10 years ago was looking mighty fine considering,
yeah,
people being
Yep.
gunned down in the streets.
yeah.
And it's not like women are being treated any better in and around the Bible Belt.
No.
So,
Jesus
Mm.
Christ.
No.
Yeah, you're right there.
But for me, anyway, like people are like, oh, I know people who are going to WrestleMania or regularly go to WrestleMania. I know even people that are going over this year to it. I look at that and go, I'm not even going to go on a holiday in America until that orange fucker is
Until
gone.
he's gone. Yep.
Yep.
Until he's gone.
Yeah, no.
That's-
But
I'm the same.
then the thing is, there's no guarantee, even when he's gone, that it's going to be any better.
That's the
Because-
scary part for me is what will come next.
What does come next? Because we have no idea what comes next. You know, I was only looking at, there were certain things. We were actually watching a South Park episode, and it was the South Park episode where Obama became president, but he was actually working with John McCain to steal jewels from the Smithsonian. So it was a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh. But then when you actually look at interviews that they've done and how they went against each other, and even the stuff with Bush and all, when he was finishing up in office, there's no respect anymore.
Mm.
There's literally none. There's no
there's
respect.
that infamous video from John McCain where one of his supporters tries to say Obama wasn't born in the US,
Yeah.
and she's a birther, and she's trying to be like, no, he's not even from here. And John McCain cuts her off and says, no, I'm going to stop you right there. He is a very fine gentleman. He is a family man, and I am honored to be running against him. We
Yeah.
just disagree on things.
Exactly. So that's respect. There is no respect now. Like that, Donald Trump has thrown respect out the window.
He's a child.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
look,
But it goes back to that argument about like how wrestling is kind of was that seed that planted in
Yeah.
his head. Because again, what's the greatest way to what would he have like? What was his origin point for like how people interacted? Would have been like, you know, Von Erich, like, you know, like going like doing his kind of like shtick in Madison Square Garden and being the foreign villain. Like foreign heels has been in his head this whole time, and just that sheer idea of like the all-American hero saving the day has been there. It is wrestling. That is like, it's like American wrestling in particular is a morality play. So it's always going to be the good guy slays the villain in the end. But again, when you have that kind of schism in your head, I'm using the word schism a lot here today, but schism is just what I think when I look at like wrestling and politics, is that you have that split where you think, actually, no, I'm the hero here, therefore everyone else I must. But again, it's that also weird bit, like I have to actually badmouth them to prove my points. Like, how are they going to listen to me if I don't, like, cut down this villainous heel? Again, there's a genuine belief in me that, like, even when, like, he would have been ringside for, like, all this other, like, wrestling in the 80s, that he's putting him back in that kind of childlike mindset. And I don't think that's ever left him, really. Like, there's an inner, very insecure child in every kind of, like, hyper masculine male you have, really. And Trump is no different. If anything, he's the poster boy for that insecurity.
His
He seems
hypocrisy
to
is
be.
what's the funniest. Sorry, Jerry, you carry on. Sorry.
No, by all means. It's hypocrisy.
His hypocrisy is what makes me laugh, because he's apparently bombing drug boats in Venezuela and off the coast of South America, and he's blowing drug boats up. Yeah, one of the first people of a second of sorry, one of the last people at the end of his first term was to exonerate the guy who invented Silk Road. Make it make sense.
Hmm.
Oh, he didn't do anything wrong, but never mind.
Hmm.
I'm just not even gonna bother. His hypocrisy is the best part of this entire fucking thing. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
again, as I said, like I think the self-parody is very evident now at this stage. But I suppose, like, to kind of to bring it back to WWE for a moment, like, obviously, like, even if they wanted to, they can't really separate themselves from Trump. Nor I don't think there really is an appetite to do so. Um,
But can
yeah.
I just throw it out there that Trump in general, it's weird because he obviously fits that same 80s poked up, almost
Mm,
cartoonish Reaganism.
yeah.
And he was like a poster boy for that. And it's a little bit strange because he does seem to be identifying with like WWF of the 80s,
Mm,
which was a different beast to the like NWA of the 80s. Because over here you had Trump as he saw himself, Hulk Hogan. And over there you had Trump closer to what he really is, Ric Flair. The
mm.
good guys were the family men and the common man, and the bad guy was the blonde playboy dickhead. Whereas Hulk Hogan was the ultimate hero because he was Americana, and foreigners are bad guys. Which it's like
Steroids.
it's weird that it seems to be like nearly two sides of the same coin that made up America at the time,
Yeah,
and
and
he's
that's
stuck
the
there.
and that's the curious thing, is the fact that, like, it, like, again, like, obviously he's a man at the time and that goes without saying, but, like, you could say the same about Vince McMahon. You could say the same about a lot of people from that era
But
who.
you see, more so, I'm thinking Donald Trump is stuck in the 80s because he's clearly suffering from some form of dementia
Oh,
and
that,
has
yes.
reverted to, you know,
Yeah, first of all, what he remembers, which is probably very little. But again, it's that sort of aspect of it where again, this is not just a podcast to give out about Trump, because believe me, we could be here all fucking night. But I think it could. Again, I would ask, and this is probably my last question on the topic, is, like, is there a genuine concern if you were in the WWE camp, say, if you're looking at the kind of, if you're reading the tea leaves a little bit, and this Trump regime goes down an even darker road than it is now, because again, we're already at a stage where there's executions in the street and there are concentration camps of, and, like, quite literal, very much Squid Game style energy of,
He was
like,
bringing
well,
back
you're
mental
this skin
hospitals
color,
as
so you
well.
wear this hoodie and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And people are, like, being starved and dehydrated and brutalized in these concentration camps. And again, it's important to call them concentration camps. It's important to call ICE a secret police or a Gestapo, whatever you want to call them, because that's what they are.
mhm.
We may call them a different name, but they are by definition exactly what they are. Like, people, it doesn't take long for people to realize that WWE have this man, have Donald Trump as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No, I would sincerely hope at one point justice will be served in terms of the Epstein files and and Trump's, like, various crimes of what he did there as well. At some point, WWE have to realize that they will be going down with this Titanic. And at what point do the optics outweigh the familial connection? Like, is it really worth having your mother-in-law in a political stance when you could be losing core businesses? How many, like, menosphere sponsors can you get to purport all the losses you're going to have from just people not showing up to your show? These are the kind of questions that, like, is there a genuine risk of that happening with WWE, or will it just be insulated by just a global audience generally?
They're so I when it comes to this, I think they're in too deep at this
Mm,
point. They are in too deep. They have people from the organization in his cabinet. They have Triple H is now doing this fitness for kids thing,
mm,
and as that sounds great, but it's still with Donald Trump. So I think for me they're in too deep, but it's like if you take this for example, you look at like the controversy with J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter.
Mm.
Harry Potter's still as big as it ever was.
Yep.
With books, with plays on the West End and in New York, you've got theme park rides in Florida and all. I literally only had this conversation today how I'd never give J.K. Rowling another cent because I have a trans child. I'm like I'm never going to do that. But millions of other people will.
Yeah.
And it's the same with WWE. It's once kids like something, parents throw it at them. So it's not going to matter what controversy that comes out about this or what how deep they get in with with Trump, because at the end of the day, if a child says, "Oh, I'm actually I've forgotten every wrestler here. I love Cody Rhodes or I love Sami Zayn, and Mommy, buy me a WWF belt." Mammies aren't going to give a shit. Mammies are just going to worry about where they're going to get the money to buy the WWF one because it's going to go up and up and up and up in price. But no, I think there'd be too many fans around the world, too many young fans around the world that don't know about this stuff and also don't care.
That's a fair argument. Jamie, would you go along with that? Or would you have a different
I'd
point?
be inclined to think that the company is bulletproof because it's an organization. The people running it aren't.
Yeah.
Depending on what way the wind blows, people could easily be shown the door and replaced. Whereas the actual product, yeah, no, that's not going anywhere. Because again, it's its own reality. It's not ice don't exist in WWE until they're brought in as a bad gimmick. But
well, or in someone's whiskey.
They already did that in with JBL.
To be fair, actually.
Oh my God, they did.
Yeah, he was chasing
aged.
Mexicans over the border.
Apparently all of that was Eddie's idea.
Yeah,
But-
apparently well, yeah. To be fair, like
Oh.
JBL is the mole in the camp, really. Like you look at him and think like, oh, he's gonna be the biggest trumper and all. No, he actually fucking hates him. What a refreshing change of pace.
Yeah.
The Undertaker's the biggest trumper of a lot of them, but my view on this is it's a business. It can be sold. As Jamie said, the product will always be there. People can come and go, but the fact WWE is a business, if it goes really bad, they can just say, right, we need to sell this. And no doubt there's a Saudi backer out there. There's a Saudi version of Tony Khan who's like, I could own that. Why not? I'll buy that.
Was it not reported today that the Saudis, in lieu with one Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon,
are looking to buy back?
trying to purchase WWE?
Yeah. Vince is using the Saudis to purchase WWE back. And
Now,
if that's the case, I'll probably never watch it again.
Yeah. Now, unless they're going to throw extortionate amounts of money, we're talking multi billions. TKO are not going to be selling anything.
Yeah,
and
like,
they can.
Because right
what
now
to get Mania.
Right now, it's a cash cow.
Yeah, that's the thing. You see, like WWE is actually what's really advantageous to WWE is how much more of money it makes than UFC. Like UFC, like really is like WWE wrestling is niche content. We can all agree on that. Like, but like UFC is more niche. Like it's but what the problem is, like UFC could have been like professional boxing, just widespread, and would like when there's a big fight, everyone stops to watch it.
It had its heyday though.
When Katie Taylor comes out, or when Anthony Joshua comes out, or Tyson Fury comes out, the world stops to watch that fight. That's how big boxing is generally, because again, feudalism has been around since the dawn of time. People want to watch a fight. The problem with UFC is that they have actually deliberately put themselves into a cul-de-sac where they only have one core audience and everyone else is not allowed in.
And it's still young. It's still quite in its infancy when you compare it to the likes of boxing.
Which is why I think it's such a mistake to not like what WWE did really, really well was to have such to be insulated by international fans. And again, as you said to Jerry, I think you said the point quite well, is that like there is going to be such a younger demographic that don't know the inner workings of what's going on. There will be a generation of wrestling fans who have not heard of the scandals with Vince McMahon. That is very, very likely, and it is going to happen eventually. Yeah. They will only know Triple H's reign, and not even that. They probably don't even know about the connection with Donald Trump until they grow up to be jaded old men like us and go, "Fuck me, why did I watch this stuff to begin with?" That's a long time down the road, and at that point, we'll probably run out of water, so they'll have more important things to worry about. But at the very least, like you have like those kind of aspects to it as well. I think with TKO need WWE more than WWE need TKO. That's the realistic part of it. Like just with the way the corporate structure is, it is half the entity. Let's be fair, because let's face it, fucking Power Slap is terrible, and it will get eventually like knocked off because of the fucking concussions it's gonna cause.
That's not still going, is it?
It's still going. Like I still get fucking prompts every now and then on the WWE's like after going, hey, look, Power Slap is live. It's like that's great. I don't fucking care. Like if I wanted to see a head trauma, I just watch. No, actually, I won't make that joke. Never mind.
Oh
I
dear.
could,
I was gonna make a joke with someone's initials of CB, and you know who that was. So I was not gonna make that joke. But but that's the thing. Like if with something like Power Slap, that's never gonna work. That is just nonsense for the sake of nonsense. That's slop for this. That's content for the sake of slop. Whereas at least with WWE, there's glimpses and hopes and dreams in that sense. Of like, oh wow, this is actually something that like I can't watch without having to be distracted by other things. But the moment that fucking Brock Lesnar shows up or Vince McMahon shows up, is like, bastards. Why is he here? You know?
I suppose the thing the Power Slap is providing, and
Hilarity.
WWE, to be fair to it has it. It's made up of it. Is it can be cut into a little 15-second clip,
Yeah.
put on social media, and that's where everyone's consuming everything these days anyway.
Yes.
The Power Slap is very social media friendly, but in effect, so is wrestling.
Yeah.
People's entrances, promos, wrestling spots as opposed to full matches.
Yeah. Viral moments is what they're focusing on now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting those viral moments on TikTok or Instagram or
Well,
whatever.
moments and aura as opposed to,
what's more important than the actual. Well, you can notice the lack of bloody storytelling in the product anyway.
But that's wrestling. Again, wrestling is the perfect sport in the post-truth era, isn't it? Like it doesn't actually matter if you watch content or not. Like it is, if it's in the zeitgeist, that's it. Like you can like a clip is enough to get you by rather than actually having the full context. Like, and if that's not a perfect microcosm for the Trump regime, I don't know what is. Like, don't read the fine print. Don't look at the entire thing. Just look at this 10-second clip of me saying Sleepy Joe, or doing an impression of like of a journalist with some sort of deformity. That's me. I'm Donald Trump. Don't ignore the rest of the Trump behind the curtain. You know, that's the stuff that I want you to ignore.
at the same time, is it really fair to hold WWE to a different standard than other forms of entertainment? How many films, video games, and or TV shows do you enjoy where the head executives of the parent companies are also in line with him because they all fucking are?
Well, I think I think that's what like people have such a kind of disparity with, is that it's so open with wrestling. I suppose that's one thing in that you could say to its advantage, is that like it's not exactly lying to you in the respect of like, actually no, like here's Triple H here with Donald Trump just a few weeks ago. Like it's there in front of you. Like there are congressional meetings and stuff and hearings and stuff like this. Like they're not hiding it in their respect. But that's also the case, like because of decisions made in the past, they can't hide it anyway. So what's the point in trying? At the very least, like if you were to drill down into say like a movie, like again we've had the Harvey Weinstein argument earlier on, but like drill down, you'll see how many movies like he had his kind of finger in that proverbial pie, and whatever happens then with other people, it's the same difference. Like drill down to private capital, it'll come back to someone who's horrible anyway. I think with wrestling, and especially WWE in particular, is it's so overt, and that's perhaps what people it's the object permanence of it as well. That
At the same time, is there an argument to be made that given how petty the man is, like we saw a late night comedian nearly lose his career because he made comments, is it really the time to be coming out saying, "Do you know what, fuck that guy"? Is it probably worth waiting about 2.5 years?
Yeah. I like the again, that's the kind of fear as well, that people are afraid of not getting their push in wrestling because they don't like Trump, so they have to keep quiet. Like that's much of that argument, like freedom of speech doesn't really exist in America, or did ever to begin with, you know.
If my getting a push, if me going to WWE and me getting a push depended on whether Joe, jeez.
That's a Freudian slip. That's a slip.
Joe Biden.
Sure, Biden. Sure.
Biden.
Sure.
Well, if it depended on Trump liking me, or I couldn't say anything bad against Trump, then I don't want to be fucking there.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I don't want to be there.
Yep, that's totally fair.
It's the same with going on. It's the same for me going on holiday to America. Obviously, there are certain parts of America that would be very pro-Democrat, like California, like New York, and stuff like that. I'm still not going near them. I'm still not going near America. And the fact as well is that we're talking about this right now, and this could be brought up at a border, whether it be an airport or wherever, and we're like, you said derogatory comments against Donald Trump, you're not getting into this country. What? What? Then I don't. If that's the case, I don't want to be in your fucking shitty country.
Yeah. And that's sentiments that I share as well, to be fair. That's one takeaway from this whole conversation. But yeah, hey, that's enough heavy stuff, lads, because that was quite a lot to unpack in a in 3/4 of an hour. So let's get into some lighter topics, shall we? So to mark the halfway mark of our pod, let's go for a bit of dalliance in the mirror WWE universe with a bit of creative control.
Personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm a cult of personality. Like Mussolini and Kennedy. New world order. The cult of personality, the cult of personality, the cult of personality.
So this is the stuff
I'll take some of that, yeah,
absolutely. So obviously this is the stuff that our viewers will be watching on YouTube in terms of like my little special cuts from the Mirror universe and all of it in between. Jerry, you might not be aware, but we have a universe mode going at the moment, and a lot of our contributors here were general managers and did ourselves a little draft, and we're basically seeing what's happened as a consequence of that. Okay. So what'll happen is we are going to find a pay-per-view from the Mirror universe. I'm going to give you the match card. You're going to predict the results of those matches, and if you successfully get them right and beat our other contributors, then you get to change one thing in the Mirror universe. And what's very exciting, gentlemen, is that this is a double edition of Creative Control, because we have 2 pay-per-views to run down this time around. So we will start with the first NXT pay-per-view of this season, which is Vengeance Day. So I'll give you a little rundown beforehand of what we've been kind of missing here and there. But basically the gist is that we've had a couple of feuds on Raw. Namely, seems to be more kind of women's feuds going on. We have Judgment Day taking on the Kabuki Warriors. We have Io Sky taking on Nia Jax. Looks like Nia Jax is #1 contender for the women's title on Raw. On Dynamite, again, the women's division seems to be taking off. Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné looks to be getting into a feud, which is very exciting. On NXT, I'll come back to them, but basically looks like El Grande Americano is making his appearance and has his sights set on the North American Championship. More on that later.
Nice.
And then we also had a champion versus champion match on SmackDown between Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa, which Kevin Owens won on that one, so there you go. Just a reminder that Solo Sikoa has almost to look forward to at WrestleMania. I've seen that he won the Rumble. My God help us all. So, with that in mind, I shall come back to Vengeance Day, and here is the match card. So, each pay-per-view is going to have 7 matches, regardless of the context. I know, because they're long shows, but for the sake of the game, it makes the most sense. So I'm going to give you the match, and then you tell me who you think won. So, our opening contest, scheduled for one fall, was a non-title match between the tag team champions Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, and the makeshift team, who were feuding at the time, Stephanie Vaquer and Thea Hale.
Oh, I'm going to go with Chelsea Green.
You're going to go with Green and Niven.
Go Green and Niven.
I'm going to go with the other side. I'm going with Stephanie Vaquer.
You're going for Vaquer and Hale? Okay.
Yeah.
And Jamie, what are you going to go for?
Going Chelsea and Piper.
Chelsea and Piper. Well, would you believe the champions? A good thing the titles were not on the line because the champions lost this match between Vaquer and Hale. So, Jerry, you are off to a winning start. So you're one ahead of the 2 lads. Next up then is a submission match, and this would make, I would say, this would be like what I would call a very WXW coded match, if they ever had the opportunity. This is a submission match between Ilya Dragunov and Switchblade Jay White.
Holy shit!
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Now, we gave stick to Aaron for drafting a top-heavy NXT brand, but sometimes the man is right.
No, he's never right. Don't put that in the pod.
So, who won submission match between Switchblade and Dragunov? Dragunov, who was
Fuck
just traded to
me.
NXT, I should say, in lieu of because we traded Roman Reigns out of NXT. So basically we've done a little dosey do, right? So Roman Reigns is going to Raw, CM Punk is going to SmackDown, and Ilya Dragunov's going to NXT.
Jerry, you've no idea what this fucker did to this roster.
I really don't. This was Aaron, was it?
Yeah, it was Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate him even fucking more now. I'm gonna go with Ilya Dragunov.
Going Dragunov. Jamie, how about yourself?
I'm going to go the other side and say Switchblade.
Switchblade. And Dave, how about you?
Dragunov.
And the winner, after I think, I'm not even joking, I think the match went on for about half an hour, was Ilya Dragunov. So, Dave, you're off the mark.
I'm on the board, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
not doing well.
Yeah, well, listen, there's 2 pay-per-views, so you still might have a chance with the next one.
Oh, he's not pissed off. He's walked away.
This is gonna be great
here.
because when Jerry
This is
gets all the
audio.
creative control, right?
Yeah.
It means he can move every one of Aaron's main roster stars off.
Well, it's only
Send
one
them
change
off.
now. Don't forget, so it's only one piece on the board at a time. But yes, that is a tempting offer, I'm sure.
Can I fire someone?
Technically, yes, you could.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, it's possible. Okay, next up then is the NXT Women's Championship on the line. The defending champion Sol Ruka against Lita.
I'm gonna go. I'm Sol Ruka. I fucking
I'm going
love
Sol
Sol
all the
Ruka.
way.
Like
Sol Ruka all the
I'm
way.
sorry, but is she not just giving off fucking Rhea Ripley like energy?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she really fucking is. Like Sol Ruka, absolutely. So yeah, I'm going Sol Ruka.
Her athleticism alone.
Good
is just
God, she's so
insane.
good. So
Okay.
good.
Love it.
So you have 2 votes for Sol Ruka. Jamie, are you going to make a 3 for 3?
No. Well, just to be awkward and to, I'm sure the lads definitely get it. But I'm going to.
You got to go for Lita. Okay.
I think you went for Mae Young there, Jonathan.
Yeah, I could hear the hand.
Okay, then. So we have 1 vote for Lita and 2 for Sol Ruka. Well, we have a new women's champion, lads.
Get out.
Lita is the new NXT Women's Champion.
I'm going to kill Aaron.
She beat Sol Ruka for the title. So, Jamie, you are on the board.
Excellent.
Ruining the universe.
Yeah, there you go. It's a mirror universe for a reason, lads.
Whoever wins it can have the rookie called up.
That
Makes sense.
That's actually not bad, to be fair. Bear in mind also that Trish Stratus is on the NXT brand as well. Just saying, just throwing it out there. So, next up then is a no holds barred match between Drew McIntyre and Samoa Joe.
Christ on a bike. Okay,
I forgot he took Samoa Joe to NXT. Yeah, that's right.
I'll go Samoa Joe.
Dave?
I am bound by household protocol. Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, okay. And Jamie?
Joe.
Samoa Joe, okay. And the winner was, unfortunately, Dave, your house rules let you down. It was Samoa Joe who won this match. So, Jerry,
But hey,
you are
Aaron.
leading 3-2-1. We move on to our last 3 matches. The North American Championship on the line now. Sami Zayn defending against Jay Lethal.
Jesus Christ.
Once upon a time, that would have been a Ring of Honor match, to be fair.
Yeah, it would have been fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
El Generico against Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Sammy to retain.
Sami to retain.
Yeah. Sammy to retain.
And Jamie, would you agree?
Disturbingly good card. I'm going to go with Jay just to be different.
Just to be different, fair enough. Okay. And this one, we actually do have a champion retaining. Sami Zayn did beat Jay Lethal for that title. So, Jerry, you are now leading 4-2-2. And we move on to our two more matches to go then. This is for the tag team titles. It's a Tornado Fatal 4-Way. Good luck with this one. So, we have the defending champions, the Usos, versus the Wyatt Six, who were represented by Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy. We had the family, which was Stax Lorenzo and Tony D'Angelo, and then the Good Brothers of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So, who do we think won this tag title match?
I'm gonna go Wyatt Six.
Wyatt Six. What do you think, Jamie?
Oh, four ways are hard.
That's what she
So
said.
anyway, depending on how the match plays.
Yeah,
I'll go with Usos.
going for the Usos, okay?
Usos, okay.
Yeah.
Good brothers.
And the Good Brothers. Well, what's remarkable here is that none of you got it right.
Tony D'Angelo,
Tony
really?
D'Angelo and Stax Lorenzo are now the tag team
Dead.
champions.
What a load of bollocks.
I like it. NXT strong.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So with that, actually, because of that no contest, Jerry has already won this round of Creative Control. But I'll tell you what the World Championship match was nonetheless. It was a ladder match between Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints.
Deadly.
That's quite real.
Now, bear in mind that a couple of weeks ago, Ricky Saints lost the belt to Ethan Page on, I believe it was the New Year's Evil episode of NXT. So this is his rematch to get that title back, if he could.
I
This
go
very
Ricky
well
Saints.
may. Sorry. This very well may be the best pay-per-view of the year.
So it's pretty fucking good to be ever.
I'm gonna go Ethan Page to retain. Ethan Page to retain.
Okay, so we have one for Ethan Page. Jerry, what was yours again?
Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints. And Jamie, you're the decided vote here.
When in doubt, always go with the created guy. I'm going with Ricky Saints.
I like that he's playing the meta here. Well, would you believe you were the right answer because Ricky Saints has got his NXT Championship back in a ladder match. So, with that, Jerry, you win the first round of Creative Control. So,
I can see on Dave's face he doesn't want me back on this show.
so before we get your shouts, so Jerry, you've obviously won that round, so we'll get your pick now momentarily. But let's go to the second pay-per-view, which is the second offering from TNA, which is No Surrender.
Are we start from zero here? Yeah. No surrender.
No
We start
surrender.
from zero
Yeah,
here,
this is start from zero. Yeah, so I presumably this show aired from Belfast, but unconfirmed. So with that in
Well,
mind,
yeah. East
again,
Belfast.
it's a relatively stacked card for TNA to be fair. Didn't get the best draw in the world, unfortunately, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So we're starting off with the Knockouts Championship match being defended by Rosemary against Steph Delander in a casket match.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
A gimmick appropriate match.
indeed.
Steph Delander for me. Also, is Ian Paisley the GM for this one?
No, I think it was still Jim Garnett, but because he has the same kind of blood pressure, it was the same.
Fair, yeah.
Jesus Christ. I'll go Steph Delander.
Steph Delander as well. Okay, Jamie.
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
match.
Patch Adams has to go against the grain.
Someone has to. Well, it's a good policy, but not this time. We have a new Knockouts champion, and it's Steph
Fuck
Delander.
off, Jamie. Ah,
Undertaker never wins a casket match. God damn it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
imagine
Um,
that, the Undertaker versus Steph Delander for the Knockouts title.
I mean, fucking that'd be. I mean, intergender matches are allowed now in WWE, so in 2K26,
fair,
I should say. So there you go.
And
Next-
2K25.
and 25, yeah. Next up then, sticking with the knockouts, we have a no-holds-barred match between Tessa Blanchard and Heather by Elegance.
Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, I'm
That's
going with the Blanche for this one.
Sorry, we all have a vote for Blanche, and you were all on the button with that one. Of course, Tessa Blanchard winning that match against Heather by Elegance. Basically, Tessa has been kind of feuding with all of the Elegances at the same time. She's having a match with Ash and then with M, and then this one with Heather. So it's been like a 3-on-1 onslaught, weirdly enough. Next up then, smack bang in the middle of the match of the show is a match between Baron Corbin and Nick Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth.
The king of their mid card. So
Mm.
Nick Nemeth, please.
Yeah, Nick Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth,
Don't be-
lads, would you
don't-
believe
don't-
Baron Corbin won this match?
No.
Baron Corbin supremacy in TNA, lads. Well, I mean, of course, he is with TNA at the moment under the name Bishop Dyer, so yeah, that goes that kind of tracks. Next up then is for the X Division title. Defending is Mustafa Ali versus Joe Coffey, with the rest of Gallus in tow. Wolfgang
Joe
and Mark
Coffey.
Coffey.
Joe
Yeah,
Coffey.
Joe Coffey. I'm
Joe
going with the
Coffey.
coffee.
Yeah, Joe
Joe
Coffey.
Coffey.
I'm going Ali.
Hmm.
And Mustafa Ali retained.
Ooh.
We are all level, lads. 2-2-2-2. That's just a bit of a mic check there for those.
Choo,
interested.
choo, choo, choo,
Chew,
choo,
chew.
So,
choo, choo, choo,
speaking of
choo,
Choo Choo
choo,
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 we
choo.
have a triple threat tag team match for the TNA tag titles. The system, which is, of course, two fucks, I can't remember, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. Momentary lapse there.
Two fucks I can't remember is the best description of those.
Versus the Grizzled Young Vets versus the Rascals. Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel in this case. So
I'm going with Rascals
I'm going to go with Rascals as well.
because I love the place. And that's why I'm picking them. Love Rascals. Pizza.
That's fair.
I do like the Rascals, but I'm going to go with the system.
And in this case, the system retained. So yes, those two, wrestler A and B, retained the championship here for the system. Good job, guys.
There was a time when Eddie Edwards had a genuine claim at being the best wrestler in the world.
Yes, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, not anymore.
16 years?
Thereabouts, yeah. Next up then is a fatal four-way of knockouts. We have Fallon Fenley versus Tegan Knox versus Cora Jade, or Elena Black if you prefer, versus Harley Hudson.
Oh, Cora Jade, please.
Oh, yeah, I'll go Cora Jade.
Okay.
It's got to be
Alan
Harley Hudson.
Henley, Cora Jade, Harley Hudson, and who?
Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox.
Oh. Poor Nixon. Poor Nixon.
Yeah,
I suppose in the video game she's not injury prone.
that's true. I know my GM mode says otherwise, Jamie.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Alan Henley.
Fallon Henley. Okay, well, we have 2 votes for Cora Jade and 1 for Fallon Henley. Cora Jade won this match, so we are all level going into the main event.
Ooh.
This is all very
Which is
exciting.
going to be a bloody 6-pack challenge now, watch.
Indeed. Well, we'll see how this goes because there could be a lot of creative control in this one. So, this is the main event, and it is for the TNA World Championship, and it is in a steel cage, no less, for added flavor. So, the defending champion, Eric Young, is defending his title against Cesaro. It's the Battle of the Balls.
Didn't you try put 2 Eric Youngs in the last one?
There was a lot of ball. There was a monsters bald match in the first week of Impact, yes, and it was a fantastic one for all of us follically impaired people.
I'm glad you said follic there. You're very lucky with the pronunciation.
Damn Skippy, yeah. So, who do we have on this one? Is Eric Young retaining or Cesaro winning the championship here?
I'm going to go Cesaro.
Eric Young to retain. Well done, Jerry. You won again.
All right.
I want Eric Young to retain, but I think Cesaro won.
You think Cesaro won? Well, you will see it back in the edit. But I'll let you put you out of your misery now. We do have a new TNA World Champion, and Cesaro is now reigning supreme on Impact, which means that Jerry and Jamie win this round of creative control, which means you both get a pick of what you want to do. So, Jamie, we'll start off with your one first. So, what one change do you want to make to the Mirror Universe?
Oh. Hold on, does Jerry get to make 2 changes?
He'll get to make 2 changes to the universe,
Okay,
yes.
can Jerry make one first? Come
He
back
can.
to me.
Yeah, that works.
So, right, okay, so I've never done this before, so fill me in. What can I or can I not do?
I would say we can move wrestlers around. You can call your shot in terms of a feud you want. If you want a match set for WrestleMania or for a certain pay-per-view, we can do that as well. If you want to turn people face or heel, set factions, tag teams, anything like that, just something you'd like to see.
And I can release someone as well.
You can release someone from a show, yes, and that means that they'll either be unattached or they'll end up on somewhere else. Within reason, obviously. Like if someone's like intrinsic in the show, like that will obviously be very difficult. But yeah, depends on that one would take a little bit of serious inquiry, but we'll see.
See, there's a
Call your shot,
particular
Wolfman.
there's
A
a
couple of
particular
weeks ago, I used it to send Roman Reigns to Raw to fix what Aaron did.
Yes, and therefore, but like by that kind of diminishing returns, like Punk got bumped off Raw by Bryan the week after, so we ended up on SmackDown, and checks and balances brought Dragon off to NXT. So that actually worked out quite well.
Okay, so who? Right, so Punk. You're saying Punk is on SmackDown,
Punk's on SmackDown now, yeah.
and who's the champion on SmackDown?
Kevin Owens.
And we're going into WrestleMania season.
The next pay-per-view on our calendar will be the Elimination Chamber. So on our next
Okay.
one, the Creative Control will be that with the match
Who
two.
won the Rumble again? Who was it that won the Rumble?
Almost
Solo.
won the Rumble.
Oh,
Jesus.
Now that could be
Oh.
something you change. If you,
Oh,
if you don't want
please
almost to win the Rumble, we can
Okay,
do historical
no.
revisions on it.
No, what I will do is I'm not gonna take that away from Almost. He needs that win. He very much needs that win. I'm
Main
going to
event
set up.
WrestleMania.
So I'm going to set. Where is Almost? Where is
He's
he?
on Raw. He's on Raw.
He's on Raw. So he'd probably be going for the Raw Championship.
Yes, which is
Oh.
currently held by Solo Sikoa.
Okay, so I'm going to do something that will probably make fucking Aaron happy, but see, I want to do it as well. I want to set up a feud between, CM Punk and Kevin Owens for the title at Mania.
Perfect. That can be arranged.
Thanks for spoiling Chamber. Fuck's sake.
Well, again, that doesn't mean Punk has to be in the Chamber. The Chamber could go to the Raw side. You don't know.
Yeah,
Almost
Or
won
we
the
could just have a
Rumble.
title defended on it. You don't
yeah,
know.
and that could
Oh,
be a
that's
triple
true.
threat match.
Yeah. Or exactly, yeah.
I don't know.
Shut up,
works.
Dave. Tart.
He is a bit of a tart, in fairness.
I am.
So, Jamie, we'll move to you then. What is your little bit of creative control that you want?
Sack Aaron.
Easily arranged.
It's not even in the universe. The fuck. So I want to say that, like, Adam Page gets his head stuck so far up his own ass that he's injured for 6 months.
I can turn
But-
it heel. I mean, now that's us as well. Like,
Uh, no, fuck it. I'm gonna tie into what just happened, and I'm gonna call up Sol Ruka.
Call up Sol Ruka. Okay. Do you have a preference on which brand?
Who are the women's champions on each show?
So we have Io Sky on Raw and we have Becky Lynch on SmackDown. Incidentally, likely we're going to have a champion versus champion match on SmackDown between Becky and Naomi.
And the secondary champions are Naomi and
Natalia.
Jesus,
And-
possibilities there, Jamie. Jeez.
Yeah. And she's doing the current / indie gimmick with the Natty thing. So yeah, I'm sending her to Raw.
Send it to Raw. Okay, so Sol Ruka's going
Hopefully
call
to
up Raw.
feud with Natalia heading to Mania.
Yeah, that actually would be very, very nice. And then Jerry, your last bit of creative control then.
Right, I'm going to ask your permission for this, okay? And
Okay, go for it.
as it's my first appearance on this show,
Sure.
and I'm so wildly loved by everybody, and that's true.
You're putting me up now, Jerry.
No.
Don't be careful now.
What I'm going to do is, I am going to give my pick, not to anyone on this particular show, right? But I'm going to give my pick. I'm going to put it back out there, but basically, should Aaron, now just hear me out.
Okay.
Should Aaron win any more points and fuck up the rosters anymore, my pick will be there for anyone else, whether it be Dave or Jamie or whoever else, to basically rescind whatever he does.
You want to give an Uno back to us.
Yep.
Okay. You know what? We don't have a gimmick here, but I'll accept it. Okay, there's an Uno for the creative control. Okay,
Yeah.
I like this.
So if
Interesting.
he decides to absolutely fuck it up, which
Yeah.
he's likely to do because it's fucking Aaron, because he's an absolute waste. He is an absolute waste of sperm. He should have dribbled down his mother's legs, but whatever.
Couldn't promise.
I'll cut fucking promos. Don't you fucking worry. I just saw Jamie and I just got the urge to cut a promo. Not against Jamie now because I love Jamie, but
Yeah.
against Aaron, absolutely. But no, the card is there. Should he fuck up again, anybody, whether it could be Jonathan, could be Jamie, could be Dave, assert creative control with my pick and fuck him over.
Interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay,
Sounds
so
good.
we have an Uno card in play now for creative control. I like that a lot. That's a very
Sweet.
very generous of you, sir. Listen. Okay, very good.
Awesome.
So, right then, let's press on. So, with the Royal Rumbles in the books and 2 tickets confirmed to be stamped for another Vegas themed WrestleMania, the picture for the big wrestling weekend is becoming clearer. Liv Morgan looks to be Stephanie Vaquer's dance partner, while CM Punk and Roman Reigns are appearing to be the star attraction as one promo unlocked the trunk's worth of backstory, law, and trauma. But there's still plenty to be decided, and so comes the final rest stop before WrestleMania, which is the Elimination Chamber. For me, and perhaps this is the point of the conversation here, this is a booker's dream. Pitting multiple candidates against each other to fill the remaining set of brackets, set up as many feuds as you want in between. Jade Cargill, obviously still awaiting a credible challenger for SmackDown Women's title. We've got Drew McIntyre, very much spoiled for choice in terms of people looking to take his title. So the possibility that we might have multiple suitors coming into WrestleMania. So for the second half of our podcast, we're going to review the runners and riders in the Elimination Chambers and who we think are likeliest to win, or rather who we be the most interesting going into WrestleMania, I suppose, and what else happens along the way with all kind of knock-on effects in the WrestleMania card. So we'll start off the women's chamber on that one. It's much like the men's. It's a very eclectic mix, just a few little kind of like wildcard entries here and there. So the 6 contenders we have are Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, and Tiffany Stratton. So let's assume for the moment that it's the SmackDown side of the brackets that they're looking to fill.
Yeah.
Naturally, 2 people there are kind of standing out for me, but I'd like to hear what you guys think in terms of like what's the most interesting path they could go down in terms of WrestleMania.
Oh, this is a tough fucking one. I think this is a tough one because if you're solely going to go from somebody who's actually on SmackDown, then you're actually limiting yourself. The match between Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton that they had wasn't exactly a barn burner. Let's be perfectly honest. But then you've got Alexa Bliss. Now, I love Alexa Bliss, but she would just get absolutely annihilated by Jade Cargill. For me, there's only one person in the match that you could say, right, this is actually going to set up something good. Jade Cargill, she is learning her craft still. She's not somebody who is absolutely a veteran of the sport yet. She's still learning. So she needs to be put in there with a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
And for me, the candidate to go in there, it can't be one of the smaller girls. It has to be somebody of Jade Cargill's stature. And for me, there is only one choice. It has to be Rhea Ripley. Now, as far as I'm aware, Rhea Ripley is Raw, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that sets up the issue. Okay, so if she's going to go over and face Jade Cargill, she's going to have to move to SmackDown. Now, it's not a big deal. She can move to SmackDown. Absolutely. That's absolutely fine. But for me, that's the only one. Just please, not Raquel Rodriguez. Sweet mother of Jesus. I hate the woman. No, just
Why?
it's X-Pac-y. I just don't like her. I don't know what it is about her. I just don't like her. Like it's the opposite of, you look at someone like Liv Morgan, who you're supposed to hate, but I fucking love Liv Morgan. I think she's brilliant.
She's
and
just a natural.
She's such a villain as fuck. There's certain people you say to yourself, I want them to stay heel, I want them to stay face. Fucking stay heel.
Yeah. Stay
heel. She's the perfect heel. Liv Morgan is just fantastic. And Raquel Rodriguez isn't. It's just something about her. I can't. It will not.
No, look, I'm the same with Jade Cargill. I think she should never have been given the title.
I think she's the same. Yeah,
ripped off her.
Yeah, she is not likable. She is not likable either. She's not.
She's using it as a stepping stone.
Exactly.
To Hollywood.
But when you look at this 6-pack challenge, there is only one. For me, it's only one.
I know you don't like Raquel Rodriguez. I'm going to bounce off your one, Jerry. I totally get Rhea Ripley. Moving her away, splitting up the tag titles and stuff, and splitting her away from Io isn't a bad thing at all, because in my opinion, they've kind of had their run now as, tag champions. And I think dropping it wouldn't be a bad thing. I think it's the right time to do it. But if Raquel Rodriguez was to win the chamber, you would have Raquel Rodriguez and Liv both holding world titles should they win at Mania.
Yeah.
That makes for an interesting dynamic. Are they finally going to fucking break up the Judgment Day, which you should have done 2 years ago?
The Judgment Day is on its way out.
Well, that's the part I was going to
saying that for 2 years, though.
No, but it is. You can see the absolute cracks are there, 100%. But they're getting bigger. You look at the promo from Raw just this week of basically Finn saying to Dominic, "You're on your fucking own, buddy." So that's the male side of things, and exactly where will JD McDonough go? Now, I think JD McDonough is going to go serious fucking heel here and go with Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's going to be a thing where you're going to have Dominic, Liv, and
Raquel.
JD on one side, and Raquel is going to be separate because she's going to split up with them because she didn't get a title shot and Liv did, and
Yeah, Roxanne Perez is
And
obviously
Roxanne's
out
there
with
as well,
illness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they will there. The Judgment Day, as we know, will be gone. I want them to get rid of the name.
Yeah,
Just get rid of it now. It served its purpose. Bye bye. Good luck. I think Finn will probably go face at this point, or eventually he will go face when he splits up. But when it comes to the situation, I do not want to see both women in the Judgment Day be fucking world champion. No.
Well, the angle I was going to say was that, like, again, I think there is one little kind of side note from the Rumble in that Liv Morgan did eliminate Raquel. So I think that's a little seed being planted to perhaps get us used to the idea of them doing a triple threat on the Raw side with Vicar. Now, I would have Vicar retaining this triple threat, but have Liv and Raquel basically cancel each other out. That's another fissure in the Judgment Day camp.
Yeah,
because I think the story is as much about, like, Vicar really is like, again, obviously doing her promos in Spanish is one thing, but the actual content of the promo is phenomenal, where she's really, like, quite cutting about Liv Morgan, is basically saying you're shit and you are, in Spanish, obviously. And Raquel's in, like, kind of a bit of an X factor. Like, she's had quite a big kind of push and has had work with Vicar recently. So there is a semblance of a feud there. And again, I was not someone who was, like, kind of like warming to Raquel myself personally, but I think I have objectively noticed an improvement in her as a wrestler. I think her presentation is letting her down. I think that's the problem. Like, she is basically dressing up like a shit diesel, and that's not really helping matters. I think if she was able to, like, find a look that suits her better, I think that would be kind of a lot more to her as a wrestler, or as a character, I should say. The wrestling part, I think she's okay, or certainly has improved a lot, because she was on the shelf for a long, long time, and I think it took a bit of time for that rust to kind of clear.
She needs to get back on the fucking shelf.
Well, that's that's why we have a podcast with different opinions. But I can see that Raquel is my pick for the women's chamber, solely because I think Rhea's feud is probably with someone else. Personally, I think, like, there's probably someone else in the mixture there that Rhea could probably fight with. Or if she is indeed going to go for a title, I don't think she needs to win the chamber to do so. She will just call her shot and say, I want Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. Like, again, I think a few people are kind of there just for the sake of the match, like a Lagaska in that respect. And I think Kiana James is kind of there to be like, oh, I was expecting her here type of thing. Especially because I think there's a few other kind of like, there's a few other people that could have, like, made it into the chamber, but I think, like, between them, like, I think Tiffany is probably a safe bet from that respect as well. I can see them doing a Tiffany Jade match on the SmackDown side, but again, I don't like Tiffany had a really poor match at Mania against Charlotte, and I would fear for her having a similar kind of run out with Jade. So, as I said, dance partners are very important with that kind of respect. So yeah, we'll see how it goes with that one. On the men's chamber,
I want to jump in on this one. I haven't talked about it. I'm pretty confident the winner of this has to be Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
Because I think Tiffany is the most obvious one, but I'd hope that they realize that that's not a match that can go on at WrestleMania. Like, the perfect dance partner for Jade for WrestleMania is Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
And every indication is that she won't be ready to go. She shared the photo of that finger injury. If that's legit, yeah, she's out.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's
the reason behind that was when she initially, see, this is on the surgeons, because she initially broke the finger and their idea was to let it heal naturally. When it healed naturally, it basically deformed itself. They had to go in, break the finger in multiple places again, wire it together, and then let it heal for another 6 to 8 months. And that only happened at the back end of last year. Apparently they fucked up the initial healing process, had to redo everything again, and now she's starting from scratch. So we couldn't, maybe not even see her till 2027. Who knows?
Jesus.
Yeah, it happened.
Allegedly, that's what happened with her injury, which would explain why she's out for even more time.
Yeah.
So, with being out for that length, and I do think the winner of the chamber is going to challenge for a title at Mania. I think that's kind of the point of the chamber at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's Rhea Ripley, because I agree with your points, all of your points, towards the Judgment Day ending. And I do think that story no longer has anything to do with Rhea Ripley. And I
Hmm.
think, frankly, getting her a whole show away from it is probably
Yeah.
not a bad shout. We're also in WrestleMania season, so it's not strictly
Yeah, it's a bit
brand
fluid. The rosters are
device.
fluid to a certain degree.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
going to be showing up here and there to promote each thing
Yeah.
heading in. And I think that there is something to be done there. I think Rhea Ripley is enough of a ring general to get something out of
Yeah.
Jade. I think
Oh,
she is one of
100%.
I think
think as a
Trips.
single star, she's probably the most over female
Yeah.
face they
Yeah.
have.
But
Because I
see-
know.
yeah.
I can see how they're going to do it as well. So she wins. So let's just say Rhea wins the chamber. She's still tag team champs with Io.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you can keep that
Jade-
going over there.
No. Jade will cost them the tag titles.
Fair.
Hmm.
Fair.
She will cost
Yeah.
Jade will cost them the tag titles, and that's how it's going to go down. That's how we're going to like. She's going to have the title match with Jade Cargill regardless. But Jade Cargill's like, "Fuck you doing? Like, this is my title. You're not going. You're not touching me. You're not on my level. Blah blah blah. You know, whatever they're going to
Yeah,
say,
shtick,
whatever shit
Yeah.
promo it's going to be. And then there's going to be a tag title match on SmackDown. So then who's going to win the tag titles? That's the question. That's
a burning
the question.
Yeah.
I think Rhea Ripley wins the chamber. We go to a SmackDown before Mania. They lose the tag titles, and effectively the tag team is broken up. They'll still be the best buddies that they ever were, but the tag titles will be lost on SmackDown. It could
It's going to be Lash
Charlotte.
Legend. It's going to be Lash Legend and Nia Jax.
Nia Jax, yeah.
I think.
And then do they somehow connect with Rhea Ripley, all being,
Yeah. I mean that could be some ready-made feuds there for post-Mania as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that actually would work out terrifically well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
While I agree with all your Rhea Ripley predictions, and I hope it does happen, knowing Triple knows the way we do, he's going to play it safe, and he's going to go with Tiffany Stratton to win the belt back from Jade.
No,
Yeah, I wish
Triple
I
H
could-
as we do. He's going to go with his pet project and go with Rhea Ripley, though.
Yeah, but again, these are
don't
different
know.
schools of thought, isn't it? It's the fact that Rhea would again. I think that I'm obviously of the belief that I think Elimination Chamber is the same as a Rumble. It's a good advantage for someone to have in a sense where or again, I feel like WWE want to do that kind of thing where it's not the first or second favorite they'll have win. It's the third or fourth favorites. It's to get that kind of that bit of traction. Oh, that person wasn't expecting that type of thing. They do that a lot where they'll have one very obvious winner of something and then they'll have a very obscure winner of the other. So in the same way that okay, for the Rumbles probably weren't the best example of this because realistically probably who you were expecting did win the Rumbles in the end. Except again, you can make an argument for either one. But at the very least, the Liv Morgan one I would say is a bit more of a surprise winner than Roman Reigns was. Roman Reigns is a safer bet there because
But it was predicted
he's
in
gonna sell.
September who was going to win the Rumble. We knew Liv was going to win it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again,
That's the
it's that
worst
kind of thing where their job is to make the obvious answer not that obvious. So even if going into from September onwards, okay, yeah, listen, Roman Reigns is probably going to WrestleMania, blah blah blah. Their job in terms of weaving the storylines and say, actually no, I can make a case for this one or that guy or this guy, that guy, whatever. And that's the art of the Royal Rumble booking is to get those different permutations and say, and again, it's the same thing with the chamber, except it's on a much smaller scale. You can see Raquel Rodriguez making that a triple threat. You can see WWE desperately making Tiffany Stratton work, therefore give her an Elimination Chamber win and get to Jade Cargill. Or again, you can see, well, listen, we need Rhea Ripley in the main event of WrestleMania. Get her to Jade Cargill and get her a chamber win.
Yeah.
They're all perfectly viable in my book. So I think either way you're looking at it's still going to be interesting either way.
Yeah.
With the men's chamber now, this one looks a bit more of a closed case for me personally, but I'd like to see what you guys think of it as well. We've got Cody Rhodes, we've got Javon Evans, we've got Jey Uso, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Trick Williams. I like the makeup of the chamber, to be perfectly honest. I think it's a nice little mix there. Javon is a nice wild card. Same with Trick. Trick is
Javon is your Kofi spot.
He's
Javon is
so
your Kofi
fucking
spot.
Trick is so over though.
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah, but he's just Booker Trick.
How dare you?
I don't see much difference. Only he could potentially be better than Booker T, but there's just too many similarities for me in the character to really, he needs to be a bit different.
And
He's over as fuck, don't get me wrong.
As a phenomenally white dude, what's the most similar thing between them that you see?
Mostly the catchphrases.
Okay.
And just the mannerisms.
There's a little heffalump trap there, Seth, wasn't there? No, I see. I can see where you're coming from. Again, I think was Trix not a Booker T's student, if I'm not recall. Was he not from one of his wrestling academies?
Probably, yeah.
I
Yeah, I think
believe
he
he
was.
went
Yeah,
for reality of wrestling.
yeah. So again, it also explains why like Booker T is such a fan of him on commentary as well. Like he is literally like it's like it's like when Taz was like good, like just like gushing over his son like in AEW.
Yeah.
It's like, oh look, it's my boy. It's like it's a similar kind of energy. And I again, the weirdly thing is because Booker T
Jerry
done that-
Lawler and Brian Christopher.
Well, yeah.
Ixnay.
Yeah, exactly. Ixnay and the King egg. But the thing is, but at least the aspect of like because of Booker T doing all that, it's actually given like Trick Williams a fantastic platform because it's such a body of work now from NXT, and I was pleasantly surprised to see Trick being over immediately because I always get this fear now with NXT call-ups, and it's like it's not probably not a bit kind of unset now, but like you've had people who get calls up at the wrong time. Let's say, like I thought
No, you're
Carmelo
right.
called up at the wrong time.
You're dead
And
right.
it took a long time for him to catch fire, and it was literally only in the most recent like run where not even with Miz. I think the stuff with Miz was pretty poor, but now after beating Dragunov and getting the US Championship, it's like, oh, actually, do you know what?
Yeah.
Dragunov is a credible wrestler. Who knew that putting someone over actually works? So now you got someone credible, and again, you've got a nice little. The mid card is starting to come back a little bit to SmackDown, which is nice to see. And it's a busy mid card as well because you can put a lot of people in that camp too. So it's nice to see Trick like getting somewhere with the Elimination Chamber again. I don't think he's absolutely not going to win it, but again,
No,
same with
no.
Javon. He's there for the spots, he's there for the moments, he's there for the name quality alone. And Jesus, like when you got like ring generals, like Randy is the perfect person for a chamber. Like have him in at the start.
I would have him
coordinate the
win.
entire
He's my pick to win. Him
Interesting.
against Drew. Just the promos alone from them two would sell it for me.
I would like to see that, but I do think this is Cody's to lose personally. Unfortunately, I do
if
feel like
Cody wins, we'll switch it off. I'm like, fuck off.
But this is the story, isn't it? Is the fact that like Cody basically like kind of like got mugged off basically by Jacob Fatu. So the story is going to be him and Jacob going to Mania to fight it out, to duke it out. So, well, that match, by all accounts, by whatever people are kind of speculating, that match seems to be a bit of a weird fucking like chaotic mix because there's a lot of people a bit afraid that Cody Drew's not going to sell, so they're throwing in more and more into it and kind of almost.
It's not going to sell. You look at the ticket sales now, and ticket sales are dreadful for Mania, the worst that they've been in a long time.
I think because they're overpriced as well. Like people got after the price of Vegas last year, so that could be a quality to it. Yeah,
there is that, but people will pay for the overpriced ticket if the card is good enough, and it's not right now.
We don't know.
Okay, the main event.
Despite it being Vegas, they're running the same city 2 years in a row.
That's another
They've
part of
lost
it too.
the novelty effect.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, what would you guys then? Who do you have as your presumed winner, and who would you like to win instead?
I'd say 2 weeks for me. 2 weeks ago, I would have just said it's a clean win for Cody Rhodes, and then we're going to have a Cody versus Drew at WrestleMania. I don't think so. Right now, I think there's going to be some sort of fucked up ending. Like I do mean like, people interfering. It's
two pins at the same time where both of them count the three and ends up fatal 5-way at Mania.
I think it is going to be some sort of like it's not hopefully not a fatal 5-way, but something like a fatal 4-way. I can see because it's all the speculation is going to be Drew, Cody, and Jacob. I want to see Drew, Cody, Jacob, and Randy.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see.
That'd be cool.
And there is speculation as well is that if it was a fatal 5-way or whatever, that there would be Aleister Black added in there now as well. Because Aleister Black does seem to be getting this kind of push, the stuff that he's doing with Randy Orton, and he's almost like he's the devil on Randy Orton's shoulder. And I would like to see him get in some way involved because I think they haven't really done much with him. He had a bit of a feud with Damian Priest when he came back, but he's done fuck all. And this is the exact reason he left in the first place. I'm like, well, don't fuck him over by doing the exact same shit you did with him the last time. Actually give him some credible stuff to do.
Yeah.
Having him involved in this type of match at WrestleMania is the exact type of thing that people come back for. Look, Punk came back because he wanted the main event WrestleMania, and he's now doing it 2 years in a row. Last year, he got the secondary main event, still main event, but a secondary main event.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, he's getting the main event. This is the spot. This is the match that every single person on the planet, if you want to be a professional wrestler, I don't care if you grew up watching AEW, TNA, WWE, WCW, Japan, anything over there, whatever. This is the match you want. You want to be facing the WWE champion in the main event of WrestleMania, and everybody wants that spot. So I would like to see Aleister Black going into something like this, to be involved in some way. Absolutely agree with Jacob Fatu going in there, because he is over as fuck as well.
Mr. Wiggles.
I would have preferred, personally, I would have preferred for him to stay more of a face. I know he's kind of a tweener kind of now, but more of a face, to be honest with you. But just a one-on-one between Cody and Drew, no, it's not selling tickets, not getting arses in seats. Give us something more interesting. And I think I don't know who's going to win it, but it's going to be some sort of schmoz ending.
I completely agree with that.
Okay.
I'm actually more confident, instead of like calling a winner, I'm really more confident in saying we will see Jacob Fatu inside that Elimination Chamber.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're 100%
Will
get
be entering
100% get. Now, saying that, if there was one other person in that chamber, I would completely change my idea, and that's Obafemi. If Obafemi was in that fucking chamber, he would run through every single person there and go into WrestleMania. So I actually can't wait until they start using Oba properly, and they're going to feuds.
I'm very confident he's the one who's going to answer Brock Lesnar's challenge.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And I
Like
hope
that.
he fucking annihilates him.
Funny enough, I was going to say
reckon
Gunther on
that's
that
what's
one.
coming.
No, Gunther. See, so the rumor with regards Gunther and Brock is that it's going to happen at SummerSlam.
That's what I heard
Yeah,
too.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
but again,
It's going to have. It's going to have
yeah.
something, and then potentially retire Brock. Now,
You
I'm
see,
not
that's kind of
sure.
the thing
I'm not
with
sure
Gunther.
about that.
Gunther is now the guy who retires people. He is the final boss.
He is the career killer.
But okay,
So we
John
get the other
Cena-
matches out of the way first.
yeah, John Cena, AJ Styles, Goldberg. Okay, fine, fair enough. He retired them. They all either passed out or tapped out. Actually, the only one person tapped out, that was John Cena. Why he fucking tapped out, I'll never know. He should have just passed out like everybody else. Do you really think, right? So Brock believes, and he is a legitimate tough guy. He's somebody that is big, he's powerful, and he could fucking kill you. Like this is a guy you do not want to see coming at you, coming down an alleyway. Like I piss myself, shit myself, puke myself. Probably come a little bit as well, but all of the liquids would be coming out at the same time, like everything. And you certainly don't want to see Brock Lesnar. So do you really think Brock Lesnar is going to pass out to a sleeper from Gunther? Not
Yes.
a fucking hope. No.
Yes.
Brock's ego is too big. He's not going to let that happen.
No.
He's not going to agree to that.
Brock's
No way.
not a
It
mark.
would be.
Brock
It would
is not a
be.
mark.
It would be Flair
Brock will
Hogan
take
all
the
over
payday.
again.
Not a fucking hope.
No.
Not a hope.
I think Brock's taking the money. He's not a
being
mark.
beaten, yes. Being beaten, yes. And being pinned. And there's only select number of people who have pinned Brock Lesnar in all
Cody
these
being
years.
One of them in SummerSlam.
Yeah, but only a select number of people have pinned him. But there is no fucking way he is letting anybody either tap him out or pass him out. Not a fucking hope. And I
think he's
put
in a
my
pass out
life
and
on it.
tap out. But
I put my life on it. There's no way.
I mean, pinfalls are also available. Let's just be clear. Like,
Yeah, I could see Gunther pinning him 100%, but not by submission. Not a fucking hope.
Yeah.
No way.
Who have you got for the chamber, Dave? Just to see that we've gone for smudgy finishes so far. Have you see a clear winner or?
No, I'm firmly in the corner of either the Fatal 4-Way or wherever it is, expanding the main event at Mania, because right now, what really pisses me off where we are at the moment is we don't know the card for Mania, right? Now, I understand we've still got Chamber to go and then we've got all of March to go. I get that. But we still have no concrete apart from even Punk versus Roman. They are pushing Finn Balor so fucking hard on social media, right? And on all these social platforms. Are they going to somehow shoehorn him in because he has history with Roman? He's got history with Punk. He's got a legitimate history with Rollins as well. You know, although you say that Finn Balor, they're never going to do anything, blah, blah, Sami Zayn all over again. He has legit history with every single one of these top guys that's in the title, in or around the title picture at the moment. So for me, the Chamber, I'd love to see Randy win it because Randy v. Drew, just that to me is money because of the promos, the build up, the stuff they could do with them two would be amazing. I know it's going to be more than that though. It's going to, like the guy said, I agree with them. It's going to be a fucking schmad finish.
Smart, man. I on that point with Balor, I think the reason why he's being pushed so much because Roman Reigns doesn't work fucking Fridays. Like that's or Mondays in this case. Like that's the realistically why. And again, it's like again, there's multiple reasons why Roman isn't
Would
doing
it be a
it.
waste
Maybe-
of time to push him that much
Well, I
to
don't think it
not
is wasted
get
time.
something out of
I
it?
don't think it is because, like, bear in mind
I'm
that Finn Balor has
convinced.
been like a percentage of a stable for so long that, like, and again, you have to also kind of look at what the landscape is going to be after WrestleMania. Like, let's just say hypothetically, if Roman Reigns does beat CM Punk, let's say, you're going to have a bit of a part-time champion there, so you're going to have strong baby faces and strong heels to carry Raw. And Finn Balor is going to
I
be well
hope he
placed to
doesn't.
be a strong
Oh.
babyface along with Punk. So you don't
Can't
know.
stand
It
a
depends on the
part-time
landscape
champion.
after WrestleMania.
I have my theory
So,
about that. I have my theory about that, but we won't get into
Yeah,
that.
I'm sorry, Jamie. I cut across you there. You go.
sorry. No, okay.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that Finn Balor is being set up for Dom for
Yeah, that's what I
Mania,
thought too. Yeah.
Yeah.
and that so that he can be a face, and then he's using that history with all the main event guys. He can go into that title picture after Mania when he's done with Dom.
Yeah.
Do you think he's
I-
beaten? Do you think he's beaten Dom?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
If it
I
right,
don't think
okay,
you
the
have
way
to.
okay, so two possibilities. If he goes into Dom and faces for the, I'm assuming the Intercontinental title, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if he goes in to face for the Intercontinental title, if it's Finn Balor, he's losing. If it's Demon Balor, he's not fucking
He's winning.
losing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that will
We've
be the
been
first
teased
time
with
you
that
see Demon.
stuff so
It's
much.
it's the first time you see Demon Balor since he faced Roman when Roman was Universal Champion.
Yeah.
And then he lost. I don't think that was his first loss
Mm.
as Demon,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it
When
was.
he
Yeah.
fell off the ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also
So
the
I think-
aspect of as well is that, like, again, you actually mentioned McDonough is there as well. Like, he will be, like, I'd say that would be the deciding factor of. I think he'd be the reason why you could keep both sides happy, having Dom still Intercontinental Champion, while also still keeping Finn Balor as a face, because
Yeah.
ready-made feud then afterwards for Balor
Yeah.
to go into, because let's be fair, Devitt versus Devlin is the stuff that, like, Irish wrestling fucking bookers' dreams are made of. Like, you're
No,
literally
sadly,
like,
Devlin
who are
will
you?
never get
I'm
to that
you
level.
from the future type
Yeah.
of shit. Like,
Devlin will never get to that level because he will be known as the ultimate seller. He will be the Dolph Ziggler of his time, where he will be the guy that will face all the big guys, but for the
Yeah.
reason that he makes them look unfucking believable.
you
I
are
fear
probably
that he's
right in
gonna be
that, but I
stuck
think,
in that.
like, but just for the sake of that, for that sake of that match, I think, like, there is absolutely every opportunity that you can look fucking incredible,
yeah.
because Balor will make him look
Yeah.
incredible.
Exactly.
So,
And there is a solid career to be had out of being the B show.
Oh no,
title
I'm not
contender.
denying that. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
denying that at all. I'm just saying that will be a career path for him that will be very, very, very fucking successful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even
And
a
again,
mid-card title
we
here
know on the
and there,
local
US or
side that, like, that,
Intercontinental,
like, yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Like, listen,
I
we
also
know from the
think-
local
I
side
also
that he can
think
switch
that
on whenever he
there's-
wants to.
I do think there is a strong element there as well of, I think JD McDonough or Jordan,
Mm,
I think he punched his ticket when he punctured his fucking lung and finished the
Yeah.
match.
100%.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's been forgotten. I think
I'll never forget that spot. I'll never forget watching that spot. The fact that the man got up, got
Yep.
onto the ring, and continued the fucking match, and
Yep.
not just continued. He didn't just get tagged and then got pinned. He continued the fucking match, properly continued the match.
And who's going to appreciate that more than Triple H?
Triple H, because his quad went twice,
the quad, and
he finished the match twice.
Yeah.
So he's like, Triple H gonna look at that and go, that's my guy. That's
Yeah.
my guy. Yeah. You're not getting a belt,
Yeah.
but that's my guy.
Yeah.
I love that they called him Bobblehead and CM Punk just went, yeah, I'll allow it.
See, right? Okay, right. Here's a little story. From
This
back
is the
in
reason
day.
I prompted you to this,
Yeah,
Jerry, because
the-
I wanted you to tell this story.
Here's you don't know this story, do you?
You've told it to me before, yeah.
Have I told you this? Okay, so
Mm.
back in the day, OTT days, people giving poor JD Jordan shit over the sides of his head.
Correct.
And I was like, I don't think your head is that big. It's just your body is obviously a different proportion to your head. And he was like, yeah, but people keep giving me shit over. I was like, okay, let's measure our heads, Jordan. Let's measure our head. So he measured his head and I measured my head, and we have the same size head. But I just have a very different body to him.
Mm.
So I don't look like a bobblehead. I'm just a fat fuck. He looks like a bobblehead. If he was fat, he wouldn't look weird. So, and I don't even think he looks weird. Jordan's I think he's a good looking man. He's extremely in shape from all accounts as well, he's extremely in shape in other areas as well. So this is the thing.
Yeah, he's
Well,
hard.
you would know.
You've
You've seen him in the locker room.
Say,
You can confirm, Joe. You've seen him in
I'm
the
not
locker room.
looking at other people's appendages all the time.
Like I said, we've been through an era without being on a notes app, so let's not say we didn't. So, but no, in fairness, again, we can't talk. Like we are the Irish. We are apparently have the largest heads outside of the Scandinavians. So apparently this is the thing. Like us fucking like Easter Island heads is floating around, sceptering, like blocking out the sun every time we turn. So this is apparently just.
I want you each to send me a selfie so I can make that a reality. I want Easter heads.
No. We're not Easter Island heads, because Easter Island heads are just fucking heads. We're
Easter Rising heads, Jerry. That's different.
Easter Rising heads. Yeah. No, but we're Funko Pops. That's what we are. We're Funko Pops.
Funko Pops. Yeah, I like that.
Well, I'm not, because as I said already, I'm a fat fuck, so I'm not a Funko Pop. Jordan Devlin would be a Funko Pop. Exactly. Or JD McDonough is a Funko Pop.
Yeah. Sticking to the Irish team, obviously the other match on the card is Becky and AJ. So seemingly that match is rolling into WrestleMania a little bit. How do you think that feud is going so far?
This is a tough one to predict.
That's
because
Becky.
so you could go one or two ways. You could have Becky go over, and then AJ wants another.
Yeah,
but wins the big one against AJ against Becky.
But a stipulation match then after that.
Exactly. Or you could have AJ win at Chamber, and then Becky go over at Mania. So there's two very different ways to do it. I don't know. I'd imagine they'd want the hero to go over at Mania. I would imagine.
I see a funky finish here. Yeah.
You see, it's tough because it comes down to: do you want her to get that moment at Mania, or do you want her to get that moment in Chicago?
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
CM Punk in Chicago.
Yeah.
Tricky one. Yeah.
And then you can get the belt back on the full timer at Mania. Becky continues on.
Yeah, I think it's a compelling argument. I think that's what the intriguing bit is. Like again, I don't think it'd be any shame for AJ to lose at WrestleMania. It's like I just said, no harm, no foul. Like Becky's a unscrupulous character who will do whatever she wants. And again, weirdly enough, her winning at WrestleMania further validates her character, because she'll just go on about that and ignore the Elimination Chamber altogether. It's like, I wonder where she got that trick from. Strange one. But yeah, there you go. Anyway. So to wrap up this podcast, we are going to quickly go through our top graps. This is our top 10 wrestlers. So, Jerry, obviously you're still new to this as well, but safety, every week we have a rolling week of our top 10, or we say are the most interesting or the hottest wrestlers going. And the one rule is we have to take one out and replace one. That is the only way. We can reshuffle that list as much as we want, but only one replacement on the list and one removal. So, I will give you the list as we left it 3 weeks ago now at this stage. So on the bottom of the top 10 is Raquel Rodriguez. On 9 as Impact representative, Mike Santana. Number 8, Kyle Fletcher. Number 7, Jacob Fatu. Number 6, MJF. Number 5, AJ Styles. Number 4, Drew McIntyre. Number 3, Finn Balor. Number 2, Liv Morgan. And number 1 is Gunther. So I think the best way to do it, I think we might just go around the table here and we probably probably put forward a name that we think should be on the list. Might be the best way to do this. So yeah, we'll do it that way. So I will probably set the ball rolling here. I think one kind of massive, I wouldn't say he's a massive outlier, but in the last while anyway, he certainly kind of really impressed me, just for actually carrying the championship really well, as CM Punk. Yeah. Realistically, I didn't really have any high hopes for his title run after the Jey Uso stuff, because ultimately it kind of came out. It was obviously came out of the blue a little bit, and not the Jey Uso, the Seth Rollins stuff, right? But so obviously came out of the blue a little bit, and to that degree, I felt like obviously things were a bit slapdash and things were trying to get back to some level of normality. But certainly since I'd say Rumble season, I've actually seen this guy go, okay, he's actually carrying the brand. The way I describe it is he's actually embraced the captain's armband here a little bit. weirdly enough, kind of taking the responsibility that Cody has lost, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
because Cody was a
Yeah.
brand
100%.
ambassador for a long time, and now Punk says, "Fuck, it's my turn," and go from there. And the stuff that he's worked with, like whatever one-off matches he's had, whether it be AJ or Finn or something like that, or the promo with Roman was phenomenal. CM Punk's going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting in this feud because Roman Reigns is not going to be around every week. And he is going to drill that into that every single time. It could be the same promo every week, but it's still a great fucking promo. The difference is that obviously, like, it's good for now to have Finn Balor to play with in terms of having a feud and having stuff to talk to. But after that point, we now have Punk and Roman, and there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to talk about. So he's going to have to be on top of his form regardless. Even though he is still, I think this is one of the better versions of Punk we've seen in quite some time, even including his AEW stuff. Because, like I said, a motivated Punk is a fucking phenomenal wrestler. A demotivated Punk is an arsehole. So there's a blurred line there that you have to kind of really work
Just
with. But I
don't
think
approach
CM
him in
Punk-
an airport.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dave, on the AEW side or on the WWE side, has anyone been catching your eye that you would prefer to list?
Yeah, there's one that's kind of come up rather quickly, and it's actually incredible how quick he's risen through the ranks. And I'm going to take Kyle Fletcher out here,
Sure.
and I'm going to put in Elio LaFleur. And I say this because
Hmm.
Agla LeBlanc was at OTT for Judgment Day with the tag titles in the National Stadium.
Yeah.
That's the last time I've seen him. And since then, in a very short time, he's now won the title last night, I believe.
Oh, he has, yeah, in
American
the NXT, hasn't he? Yeah.
hmm And
Yeah.
that's his first match.
Hmm. That's
So
a
he's
buck and a half, yeah.
flying at the minute. So I would like to take out Kyle Fletcher and put in Elio LaFleur in there. I think he's absolutely flying at the moment, and he's impressed me as well. I was already impressed when I seen him in OTT, but the fact that he's come up to NXT and taken it to the next level, definitely one I want to put on the list.
Okay, that's a compelling argument. In fairness, we don't actually have any NXT representation on the list, so that could be a very good shout there. Jamie, how about yourself? What have you got on your radar that thinks should be on the list?
I was going to agree with you on the point about CM Punk, but Dave just made a wonderful point too.
No, fuck Dave.
You went Mr. Rogers on me there. I made a good point too.
Is who's causing hype right now in the world of wrestling? Yeah, no, it has to be Punk. For scale,
Yeah.
we'll do him next time. But just for sheer scale, yeah. Punk in and Fletcher out, which I also agree.
Well, you see, could Fletcher or Raquel Rodriguez, one of them get them to fuck out. But yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Jerry? Who would you
see?
Got some buzz right now, whereas Fletcher doesn't.
Well, I've already taken Fletcher out though, so Punk would have to replace someone else.
Well, I think we've all agreed that Fletcher's going to be off the top 10 anyway, so we can.
Fletcher's out, but we can only enter one in person. Then right. So the fact that Jonathan said CM Punk, I was like, fuck, I didn't even think of CM Punk. I would be inclined to go with Jonathan, but I really want to say Obafemi because
that's a great pick as well. In fairness, yeah.
Because fuck me, I'm sorry, but this guy did this. So I said this on a different podcast last week. It was a thing where when I started seeing Obafemi, I'm like, this guy is a fucking manager's dream. Like I could easily walk into WWE room, become his manager, and it would be the biggest ticket going. To have something like his promos are okay, but they're not amazing. But if he had a good manager behind him, oh Jesus,
he needs to shift the dance though. The dance needs to go.
No, it does absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's
too gimmicky for me.
So it's changed on the main roster now because as he's doing it, he's walking along, bum bum, and he's telling the person that they're going to die. I'm going to kill you tonight. You're going to die.
And I'm like, it's the trash
absolutely,
talking.
It's absolutely brilliant. I would put my reputation on it as well that he will absolutely be world heavyweight / WWE champion in the next 2 years.
Agreed.
And he will also main event WrestleMania within the next 2 to 3 years as well. 100%. He is that good. I haven't seen anyone I like as much as him right now in any organization. He's going to be fucking huge if used correctly.
Can I just throw out some fantasy booking mental masturbation shit and say, what if we get Obafemi against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and for the second year running, Paul Heyman leaves with a different person that he walked in with?
To be fair, all the Vision are injured, and Logan Paul.
Yeah, the whole
Oh.
So that
faction's
works.
injured.
Yeah.
All that's left
Christ
is Logan
on a
Paul and some
bike.
jobber called
Yeah.
Austin.
Oh my
But
god! No, like that. But that's what I'm
Heyman
saying.
with the new next big thing.
Can you imagine Heyman with Obafemi? The thing is, right now, Oba is his face. I don't want to see him go heel.
Yeah.
So I like
Yeah.
him as
Fair.
face, but I like the fact he's running through everybody. Like, did you see his very first night on Raw? He comes out, takes out the Viking Raiders, like, and does things to these huge men that I did not think possible. He absolutely just fucking threw them around the ring. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, I know he's the next big thing, but my God, he is an animal. I love it. I want him to absolutely destroy Lesnar.
I was against that. I was against that at the beginning when I first watched them tossing the Viking Raiders around because I have a lot of respect for the Viking Raiders. I like them as a tag team, and I thought if you really wanted to be wrestling about it and carny about it, you could have been Los Americanos or some other shitty tag team.
No,
whatever.
but see,
Feed the beast type of thing.
the reason that they didn't do someone like Los Americanos because the Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're small guys, and I could fuck them around, throw them around the ring, no problem. But
Yeah.
the fact that Obafemi did that with two over 300
No, I get that
guys,
now. I get that
Yeah,
now. But
absolutely
at the time, I was like,
unbelievable.
oh, fuck this. Like,
Yeah.
Harry and
But
I just really like Viking
Yeah.
Raiders.
But I do as well. I met the guys
Or War
really
Raiders,
like
sorry.
War Raiders. Are they War Raiders or Viking Raiders?
War
right now?
Raiders, yeah.
All
I
right.
think they hated the
All
Vikings.
right,
Sorry.
again.
Yeah.
They're really, really nice guys. Some of the nicest people in wrestling I've ever fucking met. But for me, as much as I love Obafemi, it has to be CM Punk going on this list.
Yep, that's fair. Well, then, so let's work out the top 10 then. I think Obafemi will, if there's no kind of like massive names from Elimination Chamber, I think Oba's going to make the list anyway. So it's
Take
only a matter of
Raquel
time.
out there, put Oba on. Jerry.
Next week, Dave.
Once-
Next week.
Once Oba does accept Brock's challenge, he's going to be the biggest thing everyone's
100%.
spoken about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. So let's work from the top up then. So are we sticking with Raquel Rodriguez at 10, or will we do a switch between them and Santana? Are we happy with that? Are you
We're
happy
given
with
the
it?
shot to stay on the list, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so we're sticking with Raquel Rodriguez on that one. Mike Santana, then we're happy to stay at number 9 then as well, I presume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we know that Kyle Fletcher is out off the list. So that would presumably, where do we think CM Punk is in the realm in terms of like, is he hotter than Gunter at the moment? Let's say. So let's work our way
Yes.
up from the top.
Gunter's feuding with Dragon Lee. That should tell you everything you need to know about Gunter at the moment.
Well, that's adjacent to the AJ Styles feud, so I actually don't mind
I
that.
know,
it's
but
it's
it's
a
just
bridging
a-
it's a bridging feud. It doesn't it's to keep him going until they find someone for Mania.
No, Punk is definitely hotter than Gunther right now. Especially the fact, but like Punk has two high-profile feuds, not one. He has two right now.
Yeah,
he
Roman.
has Finn Balor and Roman. It's going to main event WrestleMania. Gunther ain't touching that, so no, he's bigger.
So in that case, is Punk top of the list then? He's
Yeah,
already
just-
number one?
Yeah,
just stick him on the
110%.
top. Stick him on the top.
Okay then. All right then. So who falls in then at number 2 as things stand? Are we thinking? I'll try the names we have. We got Morgan, Balor, McIntyre, AJ Styles, MJF, and Jacob Fatu left to put in their place.
I would put Balor
I'd
or
leave-
Styles, I think, number 2.
I think I'd leave Liv Morgan at number 2.
Okay.
Is she currently? Where is she now? Is she currently number 2?
Yeah,
she's
number 2, yeah.
at the moment. Yeah.
Wait, who was number 1 then?
Gunter.
Gunther.
Gunter.
So where's Gunther gone?
Well, that's what we have to discuss.
Okay.
How far back the list you want to go?
Okay,
yeah.
go live 2 then. Yeah, I'd go live
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
Okay. And again, so possibly Finn Balor then number 3 then, and then
I'd go, yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. And then it gets a little bit muddled. So with obviously like on the next pod we're going to do a proper retrospective on AJ Styles because obviously we have a little bit other stuff to talk about with the chamber and stuff like this. So AJ Styles will still be on our list at some point, but
Yeah.
are we keeping up at 5
Drew-
or are we dropping up?
Drew is right at 4. Drew is right where he needs to be at
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
I don't think AJ's only just retired, but again, he is retired. He only had his like little celebration last
Send
night.
off,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I would pull him down the list purely because that's it for him. Like we're not going to see him again till Hall of Fame.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what? Let's put him at number 8.
If this is for
then. We'll go
active,
from there,
if this is for active only, then
Yeah.
if you're going
Yeah.
to be
For
harsh
number-
about it, you take him out of the
For-
list.
Given who we've got on the list, and I'm looking at it, I would put Jacob Fatu next.
Yeah.
Yeah, good show.
Okay, so we got Jacob Fatu at number. Are you putting that number 8 or 7, Jamie? What do you think?
Well, I had him at number 5.
I think we had a week in between where he moved to 7. So again, rolling
Oh,
cast and all that
shit.
jazz. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
It's all-
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, because after Drew, we're at 5.
Yes.
I'd nearly swap him and AJ.
Okay. All right.
Although,
Oh, I see what you mean
well,
there.
no,
Right. Sorry.
whatever
I
other
got my
people-
wires crossed
okay.
completely there. Sorry.
Five.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay then. And then that leaves then. So it'd be either Gunter and MJF then for number 6. So
MJF.
Gunter and MJF, you think?
Oh, I don't even want MJF on the fucking list, but
I put Gunther ahead of MJF because I'm pretty sure he's about to retire Rey Mysterio.
Yep. I think that's probably fair, to be honest.
you think he's retiring at Mania?
I think that's what they're using Dragon Lee for.
Yeah. It's
So here's my-
Bridge AJ to right.
Here's my initial problem with the list. Is it going to be an entire WWE list, or are we going from wrestling in general? Because I'm putting
Oh, it's wrestling in
forth people
general,
from,
Dave.
like,
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the
you
whole
know,
idea. Yeah.
NXT, TNA, AEW, the
Yeah.
hottest kind of like
That's the idea. Yeah.
bit round off.
Yeah.
But Mike Santana's a good show. I think he's been really, really good with that title round. So I suppose.
Yeah, but he's still number 9 anyway, and he's kind of carrying the Impact brand anyway as it is. So, and like I said, like there's no one really catching fire at the moment with AEW. But again, this all changes. AEW's pay-per-view cycle is so different, and we're WrestleMania season as well now.
It's
so,
Mania season.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So as the podcast goes, like this is gonna like be more like when WWE's off season. Usually, AEW is kind of like has its own bits and bobs with All In and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
this list will absolutely change. And same with Impact. Impact's gonna have the new deal as well. So there's gonna be people emerging from the list there too. So
Impact has been awful since the AMC takeover. My God, it's been fucking awful.
I
hope they
disagree.
fix something.
I recently purchased TNA Plus and started watching properly, and No Surrender was decent.
Oh no, I just mean the weekly programming's been. It's gonna take a lot to fix.
Yeah. The guitar casket match was a bit much.
mm,
I didn't love that.
yeah.
No.
But they've got some bright spots, though. And it's honestly, in my opinion, the best weekly wrestling TV show. Because there's not ads splashed over fucking everything, and they're not so far up their own arses with the high spots that it's actual
It just bugs
wrestling.
me that it was so much better before the AMC takeover. And I suppose they have to now reinvent themselves a little bit because they're now under.
But there's been a
like,
turnover
different
of,
platform.
of a roster as well. Like there was that kind of influx of WWE people that came in and then he came out again, and then you have a lot of them
Fair.
kind of like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like Leon Slater, for example, still kind of within between two realms. And obviously he's not more TNA now, but you still have that little like kind of like region in between. Is like where is Aaron and Grace going, and where's who's this going, where going. So they're in that kind of bedding in period. But I think like at the very least, I think it's a solid base for them to work on because ultimately, and again, this is a topic for another podcast, is like there needs to be solid alternatives to Raw and SmackDown because, as I said, the Netflix style like is great, is like having to like, you know, break every 5 minutes is annoying. So at least having something that is like just like, you know, when NWA Power was at its highest like a couple of years ago, just having a solid wrestling show that's just wrestling and no other bullshit. That's TNA's kind of catchment. Again, this is a conversation for another podcast. But yeah,
I would
So-
take Kyle Fletcher out of there, move Jacob
Yeah.
Fatu up, and put MJF down.
Okay, so let's have a look. This is the provisional list then as we have it. So number 10, Raquel Rodriguez. Number 9, Mike Santana. Number 8, AJ Styles. Number 7, MJF. Number 6, Gunter. Number 5, Jacob Fatu. Number 4, Drew McIntyre. Number 3, Liv Morgan. Or sorry, Finn Balor. Number 2, Liv Morgan. And number 1, CM Punk.
I'm not going to argue with that. Apart from
Yep.
Jerry really scowling at Raquel Rodriguez being on the list.
Well, he has to be on the pod every week if he wants to get rid of her. That's how it works, you know. It's again,
And that might just be. And
Yeah,
it
he
might
needs-
just be.
No
Yeah.
more incentive than that right
Yeah.
there.
Exactly, yeah. If you want to fuck with
No,
Aaron's
then-
universe,
No,
you
no.
have to go over every week, like.
The incentive is get rid of Raquel Rodriguez and fuck over Dave as much as possible, but not as much as fucking over Aaron, because that is a lifelong vigil
Ambition.
that I will keep. I will. Keep.
Oh man, there's beef to be had by all, and I love it. So, yeah.
Oh, if it can be arranged, can we get both Aaron and Jerry on the podcast?
No, because the last
Somehow-
time that happened, they ended
somehow-
up being friends, and I don't want that.
But I just want a world where Aaron somehow gets creative control for the universe and thinks he's going to do something great. And Jerry shows up with a fucking money in the bank creative that Aaron didn't know about. and ruins it.
Again, this is the joy of it's an open cast.
Let's not
Whoever's
tell him.
free, go for it.
Let's not tell him. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this. So let's not tell him.
He
Again,
doesn't watch any of this shit.
If you can
kidding me?
finish up a
Does.
briefcase,
That's the
Aaron
shocking
doesn't
bit.
watch this. Aaron just sits on his toilet and watches political fucking videos all day.
Listen, we all need hobbies. Anyway, so, right, lads, that is our episode of GrapsWatch in the books. So we'll be back next week then with our debrief of the Elimination Chamber. And we're also going to do a nice little kind of career recap of AJ Styles. Because again, there will be I will put a discussion point in for when it comes to AJ Styles being perhaps one of the most influential wrestlers ever to walk the earth. That is a conversation that we will have next week, considering where he went and how many places he went as well, and how many wrestlers he influenced in that time. So that is what will be up for debate in the next episode, and of course then we'll be picking out what happened in the Elimination Chamber. But for now, I want to thank my contributors for tonight.
What's in the box?
Yeah, well, we don't know. It's probably Dan Housen, to be perfectly honest. I mean, where's it going to be? It's not going to be Chris Jericho because he smells a pish. So with that. So with that, then I want to thank Dave, Jerry, Soul, and Jamie for jumping on then for this podcast. And
thank you for having me.
yeah, and we'll see you for the next one. All the best.
And the
Thank
last
you,
thing I will say one thing. Fuck Aaron.
Fuck Aaron, yeah, I agree.
Fuck Aaron, fuck us.
Yeah, and fuck us as well. Jesus, Aaron's gonna be what's gonna upset him more is that Aaron's in the same sentence as Ice. That's what's really going to annoy him. That's the one that's gonna boil his piss.
Yep.